I'm glad you really like that, Chase. You're over there just
I had my Ray Charles rock.
You had your Ray Charles rock there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really sad that I can't see previous chat messages that happened before we go live. Because I think John Massey said something like, "How quaint, attempting to play a track that's not gonna chalk out." So I assume he's talking about our us playing a little bit of Sam Houston tonight, but. We are on the wrong lead. I am Josh at Cherry Drank. To my top right, we have the man who took the photo that I've probably used like a million times on all of our branding, Mr. Two Turns. Mark, how you doing, Mark?
Yeah, doing good, man.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking? I saw you picked up a nice little bottle here.
Yeah, I got a little bit of Whistle Pig. This is our local Manchester beverage, discount beverage had a barrel select. So it's pretty damn reasonable for Whistle Pig, and it is quite good.
Nice. The guy they call Whistle Pig on the streets, Chase. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Ouch, Whistle Pig. The fuck?
You're a big like Razorbacks fan, right? Razorbacks are pigs, right? They're hogs.
Hogs.
That's
yeah. Please. Boars, technically. I'm doing well. I'm in my new digs. I've been allowed inside now. I've got like
out of the white separatist compound, as you
out of the white out of the white separatist compound. I'm actually sitting up straight in a chair. This is going to be good.
Nice, man. Glad we missed you last week. Glad we missed you on the podcast too. I actually, Chase, I just like beside myself. I got a very, very angry message from a certain Keep Pounding, because we did not shout him out in the podcast last night, and he put the sole blame of all of this onto our fourth member here, Mr. Caleb. Caleb, I saw some incriminating evidence sent to me via PM as well of something that you may or may not have said. What do you have to say for yourself?
You know, I can say that last night, while trying to admirably fill in for Chase and never fill in those shoes, the thought crossed my mind. I'm like, we should probably shout out Keep Pounding. But then I'm like, you know what? Fuck him.
And the truth comes out. But we're gonna try something a little bit different here. We're gonna be taking a look at Sam Houston here, and I'm gonna try and figure out how I'm gonna do this without getting sued by Robert Stream. Shout out to Monopolies and Horse Racing. So I got the stream up here, guys. Sorry, I cannot show the video. You'll have to pull it up on your own ADW. You may see us lean or root or something, but the constraints we have to work through here. However, I can at least show the PP. Swing this over here. And we got Sammy H here. So I know, Caleb, you went ahead and you actually played a pick six because you thought there was a carry, but it was actually for the rare early pick six here.
Yeah, I mean, shame on me for missing the early pick six. But yeah, I'm not going to cancel the bet, so I let it ride. So I am alive. I went 5 deep to catch that 3-2 horse last race, so that's always what you want to see. And I'm single to this one here.
Rolling Diamond. That's actually the horse I also like here. I'm a big fan of this one, especially when you look at the tote board right now. The 7 is 3-5. And I am just not in love with the 7 horse at that price. You did win last out, coming from the Baffert barn. Baffert tried it on turf, which means the horse sucks. But I don't know. the horse could still win. I was trying to double into this race with a couple of bombs. I did use the 7 a little bit, but I'm thinking if I'm going to try and double out of this race, I'm probably going to be focused here on the 1. Mark, I know you were looking at possibly playing the pick 5 here. What are you looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, I like your 1 the most of all as well. The other horse I was really sort of interested in was the 5, 6 Street a little bit. Those are the 2 on time form that sort of stood out. And although Relu hasn't done super well for the Asmussen barn, horses, make some sense here. And I would assume that a 44,000 non-owners of 2 lifetime allowance would be a little easier than that last out Fairgrounds race. So I thought that one, the 5, made a little bit of sense in here.
Yeah, and Joe Marcello is reminding everybody that Stidham has a knock for destroying pick 6s. So, Joe, I'm sure you have a nice story. Although I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but Mr. Marcello has been like, I don't think I've seen more people hit like pick 3s and pick 4s on like $4 tickets than Joe. I think I've seen like 2 or 3 of them in the last week alone. So he's keeping it skinny and he's keeping it tight. I know he had to get rid of the Xbox due to budget constraints from She Who Should Not Be Named. So I'm sure it's dipping into his wagering budget too. Although actually he just told me he's invested into a couple of horses. So he's putting his money elsewhere. So
yeah, we got about sends me a little hit list of horses that he's interested in claiming at Oaklawn, and he's got a good eye. There's some pretty good horses, but he just loses some like 10-way shakes.
I think he was telling me he lost 2 shakes. He's got I think he's got one running on Saturday, race 5. Triple Scouts? I think it might be the horse. I think it's like Little Bluebird or something. So
I'm going to play an exacta here, and I'm going to use this 5 on top, and I'm going to go 5 over 1-3, and then I'm going to play a trifecta that's 5 over 1-3-7, and I want to use that 5 and 7 in a double to 5 and 6 in the next race.
Yeah, I have a little bit of an action picks 3 going here. I don't think it'll pay a ton, but I have a pick 3 that's 1-5 over 3-5-6 over 1-7. Just more along the lines of it's a base bet. It keeps me entertained until I get to some stuff that I think is a little more slammable late.
Say 1-5 over 1-3-5-6 over 1-7?
No, 1-5 over 3-5-6 over 1-7.
That's a pick 3?
Yep.
We'll put that up too. It's got a couple tickets from there. I think both Caleb and I are on this one here. Mark also on this one. Chase, ever the contrarian on the 5.
I'm 5 as well. I agree with Chase.
I like seeing I like the 5. The fact that it's not facing winners for the first time, like that Baffert horse. I mean, it's going to be forwardly placed. It might not be on the lead. I kind of expect maybe Twirling Diamond to get out there and take the lead. Maybe the 6 scratched out, but if things work out for me, I get maybe 1 and 7 burning out on the front end, and then 5 getting first run with the 3 and 7 hopefully closing in between.
Hey, Chase, because Josh did say he wanted this to be a little more educational. What are your feelings on my sort of stance? That even though we're up in class dollar amount wise, this is probably a touch easier than that non-winners of 1-17-5 at Fairgrounds.
Say that again. That was very wordy. You confused me.
Oh, sorry.
No more than 3 syllables, Mark. We've been over this.
Gosh, geez. Sorry. I know.
So even though dollar wise, it's not. You're saying okay. Even though it's not as pricey of a race, it's a tougher competition. Is that
no? The race today is a $44,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime. Yeah. That 5 last out ran in an optional non-winners of 1 that was an optional 17. So the purse last out was lower, but my kind of contention is that a Fairgrounds 17K race might be tougher than a $44,000 race at Remy.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a little, you have to take a little bit of a conversion factor for some of these races. With the dollars might not be the same, but it's just kind of the the way that they have their the way that these tracks structure their purses. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it's, even though the dollar amounts are higher, you always have to look at the company that they're facing, and they're probably not facing as nice a company at Remington Park as they are.
I would say that's something I think you often see is that like you'll see shippers. The one I always get into is like during Saratoga meet, you'll see a shipper that's shipping out of a smaller circuit.
Finger Lakes.
Yeah, exactly. A Finger Lakes, coming out of a $17,000 allowance at Finger Lakes, coming into a claiming 45 at Saratoga. And actually, that's probably a lateral move. It's just the purses are bigger. So I think sometimes we get a little caught up on class levels as they're purse related, and instead of being the quality of the races.
There's a little something called the condition book that it's something that even more seasoned horse players don't use it as often as they should, but it's available to everybody. And if you just go on their websites, and you can find the condition books and kind of get an idea for the scale of these purses, and maybe kind of be able to put it, compare them together. Josh has won. Ooh,
Josh has won.
Yeah, it's Caleb's won.
Josh, you can have part of it too. If he wins, he's yours. If he wins, he's mine. If he gets caught here, he's yours.
Yeah, it looks like he's opened up about 2 lengths. The 7 looks like he's going to try.
He looks awful good here.
Yeah, and I say, if anybody's watching for the first time and are wondering why we all sort of toss the 7, who is your 4 to 5 favorite, I think all of us on stream have the same feeling, which is that maiden winners last out going versus winners first time is a definite step up in class, and sometimes the board doesn't necessarily realize that, and what just happens.
Yep, that one won by a couple lengths, and you guys were talking. I did toss my ticket up there. I'm doubling into the next race with the 1 to the 157. One thing I do want to definitely point out, and one of the reasons why I wanted to focus on SHRP here is a little takeout. All of their horizontal wagers are 12% takeout. And that's as good as it gets. No, I don't think there's any other wager that's a lower takeout. So whether it's a double, whether it's a pick 3, whether it's pick 4, pick 5, and even their pick 6, their non-jackpot pick 6, all 12%. So real important to keep an eye on that. If you are going to be playing into wagers that have higher takeout, check out Mark's video. He does have a nice video talking about rebate shops. If you are putting any kind of volume into this game and you don't know about takeout, you don't know about rebates, like you need to know, because you're essentially leaving money on the table. Because Mark's shown me his rebate card before, and there's literally some types of races he gets 10% back, 12% back on. Like it's just insane. Like he puts $100 into that pool, he's getting $12 of that back, win or lose. So it's important.
I was playing Dubai this morning. Well, I didn't play it real light, but normally when I play the Dubai races, I get over 20% back. So if you're playing $100 through the window, you get $20 in your account the next day. So in a track, you find some tracks like that are the higher takeout ones. It can offset that takeout to some degree.
Yeah, and there's certain pools, like especially the single race bets, those pools tend to have higher takeout. And if you're going to be playing those, like you absolutely need to be getting a rebate some way, shape, or form, because otherwise, you're like I said, you're just leaving money on the table. I've noticed a huge difference. Now I live in the state of Illinois, and the state of Illinois has got all kinds of backwards ass laws regarding horse racing. You could. Between the part of those backwards laws are the reason why Arlington's closing. Part of it's CDI's greed, but part of it is decades long just ignoring of the horsemen by the state of Illinois as well.
Here we go.
That's as far as I'm.
Here we go.
It was going to happen.
I didn't listen to the podcast yet. I have a feeling. What percentage of the podcast was Arlington talk?
I was just really appreciated honestly last night,
which means 75% was Josh talk.
When Caleb and I were talking, Caleb was like, "Dude, I read up on this and I was as mad as you are." So I appreciate.
God damn it,
that.
Caleb! You never care about his feelings. He'll never stop.
But yeah, no, it's just important to know. Like, I live in the state of Illinois. There's a large fee that's charged. When I get payouts, I generally get 20 to like 50 cents less on payouts. So like a horse might pay like $8 to win, and I'll get like $7.80 back. It's something similar that happens in Canada, but mine is just on a much smaller scale. But places don't want to open up ADW shops in Illinois. They don't want to give their signal. Like, there's just a bunch of stuff. And the ADWs that are available, they don't give a real big rebate. So I'm with Naira Bets. They give me a couple percentage points back flat. And I think if you sign up through Thoroughgraphs, you can get that through them. If you're a high volume player, there are tons of options, especially if you live in friendly states. Give Mark, give Caleb. I don't think Chase, Arkansas. How's Arkansas? Is that a source fee state?
Not sure.
No idea. They are. They're not as player friendly as certain other states.
Gotcha. But yeah, if you message Mark or Caleb, I'm sure they can give you a little bit more info on getting set up or just some of your options. They do not make it easy to find this information. It's actually kind of a pain in the ass. And I spent plenty of money and didn't realize that I was just leaving money on the table. So especially if you're starting out. It doesn't matter too much. The most important thing starting out is always going to be, clearing your deposit bonuses, getting your data free with your, whether it's through TwinSpires or DRF bets or even TVG. I think now they give you DRFs if you bet like $25 or something. So it's just important that you're doing that smart. And I'm going to tell you, it's not out there. Like, you could Google this stuff. You can like search. It's just, this information just isn't out there. Like, you got to know somebody. So some of this stuff, it can get kind of a little frustrating, but hopefully we can help you navigate that a little bit. So that was a 10-minute rant or 5-minute rant on takeout and rebates there.
Caleb, nice single there. Very, very well played. And I know Josh was talking about play structure. With what Caleb did, he actually singled to a horse he knew would not be the favorite. So that's an action. If you're somebody who's playing horizontally, that's a really good way to extract value from a sequence. Is if you can make a case against a favorite and you can get around that favorite and you can single around that favorite. I really like that one as well. I thought that was a really smart play. I didn't think the 7 would be as short as he was, and that's a very smart way to attack a sequence like that.
Yeah, well, it looks smart when he wins, but thanks.
So John Massey saying that horse racing loves to try to keep their customers stupid, like American voters. I'm going to say you're not wrong. Stephen Fox says, 10-minute rant sponsored by #AMWager. Fortunately, AM Wager is not available in Illinois, but we do have an affiliate link. I think Joe's asking, does AM Wager accept Bitcoin now? I thought they were working on it.
They do now. They should have credit card acceptance very shortly. I was talking with Gorex, and they'll have it here pretty quickly. I think they're going to, when they turn up that platform. There was a whole issue with getting credit cards allowed, and that same credit card allowance will allow them to accept Bitcoin. So there's a whole, can they accept from anything other than a straight ACH withdrawal?
Yeah, but yeah, why don't we got a little bit of time here before this next race? Why don't we take a look at some Gulfstream?
Ooh.
Let me pull up my PPs.
This Fountain of Youth Day card is phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's loaded.
Like, I kind of want to just pull the Band-Aid off, because this is like probably the race that we could probably breeze through the quickest, is actually talking about the Fountain of the Youth here. It looks like a 2-horse race. I actually really like Greatest Honor. Just like, I think he's a real contender in the Derby space. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but the buyer came back a little light, didn't it?
With greatest honor, let me get
I
there.
think it was like 80.
89 and the 89 in the Holy Bull. So no, I think that's the best in the field by a fair bit, I think.
Yeah, I know some people. I think some people were kind of like, that's not that fast for this time of year. So I guess it kind of remains to be seen. But I mean, Caleb, this horse just continue to get better, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember when we did the stream for the Holy Bull. My take on this horse was, I'll probably love him down the road, but I don't think this is the right spot. After he just broke his maiden, he had the outside draw. Mile and a 16th at Gulfstream has that short run to the first turn, and they only run up to the first finish line. And this horse just super impressive visually. Like you said, the fig didn't come back super fast compared to your other 3-year-old Derby horses, like your Life is Good and Medina Spirit and Mandaloon and those kind of horses. But visually, I mean, it remains to be seen kind of what he beat in that field. I'm talking long-term Derby prospects, but he really doesn't have any different foes today for the most part, and maybe one or two that might have a puncher's chance. But I mean, I think he's going to be really tough to beat if he just runs that same race again, much less if he actually takes any step forward.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with Caleb in here. I think greatest honor is your most likely winner. I think if you look at that Holy Bull, no one else in that race had any real excuses. Like I can't look at anybody and say, "Oh, geez, they had a bad trip," or the pace setup was terrible, or I really can't give any excuses to anybody else. So I want greatest honor out of that race, and I want no one else out of that race. The other horse and I know Caleb and I both had this conversation, he may be a little bit distance constrained, but that's the other horse I'm interested in is Drain the Clock, the one. Won the Swale amazingly impressively, and comes back here. Obviously, they're going to try their Derby shot and see if he can get the distance. And if he can, I'm sure they'll keep him on the Derby trail. And if he can't, they'll wheel him back and cut him back in distance. But he was the only other horse in here that I thought really needed some consideration if he can figure out how to stretch out.
Chase, have you looked at this race at all yet?
I've peeked at it. Haven't done like a really deep dive into it. The one thing that kind of irks me about Greatest Honor is that I'm not sure just historically how many times you get Holy Bull winners that run back to win the Fountain of Youth. When it comes to how they're spaced out, they're pretty close together. Makes me want to take a shot with a horse that's maybe a little bit of a new shooter. With Fire at Will. I had Fire at Will in the Breeders' Cup. The horse has handled pretty much everything that's been thrown its way so far. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that it's just a turf horse because we even got wins over broke its maiden over a sloppy track. Also, there's a lot of distance on the pedigree on the top line with Declaration of War. Outside of that, I would give Tarantino a second shot because I feel like Tarantino definitely has that run style that wins Kentucky Derby preps. Maybe not necessarily at Gulfstream. I feel like you get more closers at Gulfstream in these preps, but I really like horses that are going to be running on the front end and seem to have a higher cruising speed. With that one, distance in the pedigree does seem to be a little bit of a question, especially with the way that it faded last out. I haven't put a ton of thought into it, so just to be contrarian, I'm gonna avoid Prime Factor and I'm gonna avoid the horse that won the Holy Bull and say that Fire at Will deserves a pretty good shot. Might just get bet down to oblivion, based off the BC win and also Kendrick Carmouche coming in just for this ride. Maybe not just for this ride, but to ride this horse. And I'm going to say, why not Tarantino at 8-1 if it can get out there and set to cruise and maybe take this gate to wire.
I'm actually going to create a new rule that this is the only race that we can talk about any Kendrick Carmouche ridden horse.
I'd like to make one exception.
Yeah, there needs to be one notable exception to that rule. Just one race. Just one.
Oh my god!
And one horse in one race.
Yeah. I took a look at this race. I think the 4 obviously Fire at Will and this the 8 Greatest Honor are going to take a ton of money here. Like I said, I really like Greatest Honor. I just taking such a short price on this. Like, I don't know if I'm going to want to take this short of a price here. I'm a little worried about this 2-horse Prime Factor. Kind of going to be showing a little bit of speed here on the rail, I think, along with the 1, Drain the Clock. I mean, what we've seen the past couple weeks at Gulfstream, I mean, we've kind of seen a lot of inside horses, inside speed horses especially, make up a ton of ground and just carry themselves to victory. Like, I don't know. I mean, we hope we're going to get a fair track, but I mean, Gulfstream's really, that inside bias has been pretty heavy. It hasn't been as crazy lately, but it's still been it's still kind of been a thing there. So I don't know. I think Greatest Honor is easily the most likely winner, but I don't know. I'm interested to see what kind of price you get on the 1 or the 2 horse in this race. If this 2 horse takes a ton of money because of Pletcher, I definitely think that you're going to get a nice price to try and beat both the 2 and Greatest Honor with either the 1 horse Drain the Clock or with the 4 Fire at Will. I'm just not sure about Fire at Will if Fire at Will is not a turf horse. I mean, we've seen there's another horse. Who's the other juvie turf horse on the Derby Trail? Mendelssohn, ended up doing okay.
Mandaloon, maybe.
He's talking a few years ago, I think.
Yeah, a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we've seen this move before, kind of going from the BC Juvie turf and, going to the Derby Trail and doing okay. The horse is kind of, I think, would probably bred. I mean, the horse just screams turf. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking.
I mean, it's a turf horse. Connections caught Derby fever. You see it all the time. Like, maybe he's that good, but he's a turf horse.
Yeah. But Stephen Fox over here saying drain the clock, more like drain the IRA, drain the 401k with the rail. I got him confused with the drain the IRA. Our boy, Mr. Blue over there with what was the horse? What a Find, right? Remember how much?
What a find.
Oh, yeah, what a fucking find of a way to lose money. David Barista says Cowan. Yeah, I think Cowan's another good example of a turf horse that they're trying to run Derby stuff for. I don't know what the heck they're thinking there.
I believe they spent the money to ship Cowan to Saudi Arabia for that race.
Yeah.
That it just...
I mean, he got second, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm sure he probably more than broke even. But
I mean, just from what I've seen of the horse, I felt like it just didn't have any chance to win it. Which, I mean, sure, there are good payouts for those purses in Saudi Arabia, but it was an odd decision. I mean, I'm not sure what angle they're going for with that horse now.
Road Warrior said trying to beat Shug, nothing creative, 1-4 box. He likes betting Shug at 9-1, not 9-5.
I mean, I like betting anyone better at 9-1 than 9-5, but I like it better when they cross the line first.
And the man with the most shout outs in stream history, Mr. Keep Pounding, saying shout out to Chase, the OG Fire at Will backer. So he remembers Chase.
That was a good call, Chase. You gave him out. He was a nice price that day too, wasn't he?
Oh, he's 30-1.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That was a nice pick.
I had a $12 ticket and that ended in Jackie's Warrior that for the pick 4 that would have paid just a ridiculous amount.
Oof, Jackie's Warrior.
That still hurts.
He's running too on Saturday, isn't he?
Yes, he's in the Southwest.
Do you give him another chance?
I don't know. There's a horse I like, especially because it's going to be muddy. Oh, what you wanna look at the Sam Houston race, and then maybe we'll jump into the Southwest.
Yeah, let me pull it up. I got my live double. I think I'm good with just that here.
Who are you
I'm
live
live,
to again, Josh?
I'm live to the 1, the 5, and the 7 for I just played a small double. I'm live for $3. So what was this? All race 9. Whoop.
I'm live to the 1 and the 3 in my pick 6. I figured the 3 was going to get bet pretty hard. I mean, she looks like the horse to beat. But the 1, I mean, looks a little on the cheap side, but the horse ran a couple, figures that aren't that much slower than the rest of this field back in Clinton Stewart's barn, way back when. And the horse likes to win, and like Sam Houston. So I thought at 6-1, I'd take a shot. And this horse is getting no action. She's 12-1. So I think there's no way she should be the longest price on the board as far as I'm concerned, even if you don't think she's a very likely winner. But
yeah, and I really like the the form that this horse is coming in off of. 2 straight wins. A second at Canterbury. Right before that, this horse likes to win. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna take a shot with this horse. I got this one here. You said you're on the 3 as well here.
Yeah, that's the other one I liked. I mean, I just think she has the back class that, if she gets a clean trip, she's going to be tough to beat.
Do you worry with your 3 that her form's tailing off a little bit?
Yeah, I wasn't until the last race. Like the Fairgrounds race didn't really bother me. I mean, she was stuck wide and, Secret Message. That was a good field. But that last race does bother me a little bit. I don't recognize any of the horses in that race. That I guess Stunning Sky, I kind of know. But none of those are world beaters. This is still probably an easier spot than that. But
this is a ton of class relief off that last, yeah.
But I am a little bit concerned that she had a lot of starts, in the last back half of last year. So she raced, what was it, 6 or 7 times in the last half of last year. So I mean, I'm a little concerned, yeah, to be sure. But at 9-2, I'm like, that's a great price. Yeah, at 2-1, I mean, I would be a little bit less excited to bet her.
Yeah, I mean, she seemed like the horse to beat in this race, at least as far as I was looking at it. So I very much agree with you on the 3. I didn't think she would end up being this short, but the one question mark I have is, she fires back to some of her 2 or 3 races back. She should demolish this field, getting a ton of class relief. But I worry if she's tailing off a little. I don't know if she needs to be put out to pasture for a couple of months or needs a break or whatever. And also, she's only hit the board once at in her 3 Sam Houston races, and that was a show. And honestly, she's only 4 for 25 on the turf, which she towers on figs, but is she really the kind of horse that is this really the right? I mean, I guess she's only 4 for 29 lifetime. She's not a horse that really loves getting her photo taken, as I often say. I wanted to single her, but I ended up adding the 5 and the 6 just to have a little bit more coverage. Obviously the 6 first time to Asmussen, I would expect, he would move that horse up if anything, although, put Relio up, I would imagine he'd put somebody else up if he thought this one was super live. But clearly pedigree-wise is a turf horse, and the same thing with a 5. I think 5's definitely a turf horse as well, which is often the game at Sam Houston, is finding what horse is actually the real turf horse in some of these turf fields. And I thought the 5 made some sense as well. Time Form puts both of those 2 horses in the mix here, and the 5 again getting some class relief here as well, same kind of distance, and hopefully gets a better trip, doesn't quit the full grab a hot dog coming under the front stretch that did the last time out.
I'm gonna try. I feel like I can see a little bit of a wonky pace thing going on, and that's with who will more than likely end up turning out to be the inexpensive Velocity, the 4 Bye Bye Birdie. I feel like maybe that the other times on turf it tried sprinting, which I don't think the horse really likes sprinting, because I'm looking at where wired the field at 1 mile and a 16th. The figures on turf are decent coming from Fairgrounds in Keeneland. I'm going to say this Bye Bye Birdie horse maybe gets out on the lead and can maybe set some soft fractions. And so what I'm going to do, because often whenever I have a horse like that I feel like can get loose in the lead, I tend to fade the stalkers and want a horse that's going to be moving fast late for an exacta. So I'm going to go Bye Bye Birdie over the 1 After Red Sun, the 5 Quick Quick Quick, and the 6 Story Time. And then I'll put a little trifecta together with the 4 and the 6. So 4-6 with the favorite, 3-4-6, and then 1-3-4-5-6. And this 5 looks pretty stout in the next race, so I'm going to play those 3, perceived overlays, 4, 5, 6, and the 5 on a daily double.
With authority. Hey, so let's talk here real quick. We got 2 minutes to post. I see your try structure here. All right, you got the 4, you got the 6 here. So underneath, and that's in second place, it looks like what you're trying to use further off the pace horses here, or what's your thinking here in the structure?
What I usually do when I have these 2 overlays is I'll end up wheeling who I think is going to be the post time favorite into second place. I mean, the 3 looks decent. It's got a decent run style. I feel like if a horse of that run style, like I said, I typically try to kind of fade out the other horses for the first run horses for exactas. But with this 3, I mean, it's got a pretty, smooth energy distribution. It's going to be running a pretty consistent speed. And, it's getting favoritism from the board. And I feel like oftentimes when these horses are the favorite and they don't win, they're going to be in second. So that's why I tend to kind of take that favorite and wheel it into second. And it's also why in my exacta, I omitted 3 from second place. Because ideally I get 4 on top and then I hit this 6 underneath, and then I've got a good shot at hitting the exacta as well as the trifecta.
Keep pounding, saying Curlin's journey always disappoints.
Yeah, that horse does have a knack for not getting the job done. But if you're backing her at 20-1, 30-1, and she's still hitting the board for you, you can't be too upset.
Yeah. John Massey's saying he thinks that maybe the 1 might be the speed.
I don't know where he's getting that from. I just don't see the 1. I mean, that last race, sure, but Verse a lot weaker, and
you've got 2 straight races where it's come out and been, if not on the lead, very near the lead by the first call, and then for a mile, 23-3. 23-1 for a 7 furlong, fairly quick fractions. I'm thinking this 4 is going to just kind of go like hell though. Doing the stretch out thing the second time.
Yeah, I agree with Chase. I mean, I do think the 1 probably sits no worse than second, but coming out of those 5 furlong sprints, stretching all the way out to a mile or a mile and 16, I think the 4 probably gets the lead here. But I do think the 1's going to be forwardly placed. I mean, clearly they've decided they want this horse to be more involved early, and they've been rewarded with 2 wins. So I'd be surprised to see her take back today.
Yeah, Elliot's saying it looked like a big bet went down to 7, but it looks like the 7 floated right back up. The 3 is still sitting at 2-1 here. We got the 7 at 5-2, 6 at 7-2, 5 is 5-1, 4 6-1. R1 is 11-1. 2 is longest shot on the board, 15-1. I don't even think we mentioned the 2. 2 looks like a dirt horse though.
Now the one thing I could possibly see happening is with this 3. I mean, I feel like the horse might not be as close to the front as you would want it to be, and it's because you got Sophie Doyle up. I'm a big proponent. If you're new to the game, one of the most valuable pieces of advice that I can give you is to watch a lot of races. When you see, who wins, note who the jock is and note how they won. Learn what their preferences are and how they ride. From what I know, Sophie, she does a lot better coming from a little bit further off the pace. She's really good at measuring, how much she has left in terms of distance to close, as well as what she has in her horse. So, I'm willing to fade because I feel like she's probably going to pull that horse a little bit further back than it needs to be. And that means probably a pretty easy lead for this 4 is what I'm hoping.
We got On the Cheap Speed featuring On the Wrong Lead.
Who do you have here, Caleb?
I had the 1 and the 3, but it just feels like the last 2 streams, everyone's been on the Cheap Speed except for me.
You're still talking about that what was it, that 8 horse?
Oh yeah, the one that
at Golden Gate Field that both Mark and I were singling. Yeah. And I felt like I had to bet out of obligation. Yeah. We're loading in here.
So you mushed yourself. That's what you did.
Yeah, probably. Mark, you I know after this race is over here, I know you wanted to talk about another Gulfstream race. You're really excited about this. Was it race 13?
13, the other berry one.
So we'll touch on this here in a second after this race. Looks like they're loading in here. But what'd you like about this race, Mark?
It's a big competitive field, and it's not a field with a massive standout. I've been really enjoying the turf racing at Gulfstream Park. And I think there's a few horses in here that are sort of known names that'll take money, and I sort of like a fresh face in here.
And it might not be who you think.
Yeah, right? Because there's only really one super fresh face in here. But while they load it, Sammy Houston, okay, gates are about ready to pop.
Oh, man.
Dude, Sammy Houston has a beautiful turf course.
Really does.
Considering the weather they've been getting, yeah, I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah, I mean, you figure Houston was like a tundra last week, and that turf course looks pristine.
All right, then they're off, and let's see who got the lead. Oh, it's the
one
4.
Came out kind of poorly.
Yeah, 4 is out there. 3's pressed up front. 5. Man, I should just
absolutely no concern for saving ground. Thanks, Lindy.
Yeah, he's like what? Well, he's getting to the rail now.
That shoot's a little interesting because you got that turn that comes up on you so fast.
Yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of like the Los Alamitos hook races, isn't it? With the way that shoot works.
It's a lot of angle. I didn't expect it to be as hard a corner as it is.
Yeah,
4 cleared and did exactly what I want it to do. Now I just need a relaxed second fraction here. If I can see,
you need your 4 to get brave here.
No, I need my 4 to chill out and maybe put up like a 47. Yes, 47.8.
So
I don't know what's fast at Sam Houston. I feel like
would this 4 winning be stellar?
It would be interstellar. It would be out of this world.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's see here. The 4 looks like this 3 is making a bit of an early move here.
He's got horse. This 1 has like a super low head carriage.
All right, the 1's finally going to try and do something, but I think he's too far back.
Yeah,
I think the only
waited too long. I went too wide. 5 or 7, I might have a shot.
Unless this 3 gets tired.
3 started that move pretty early, but I think she's going to be tough to beat.
Huge prize.
The stretch looks kind of
long. Oh no, the one fouled the 7. How the hell did the 1 not get by?
He did. He's up. That horse is up. 1.
Oh, there we go. Cash a nice double there. Let's go.
That's gotta be a nice double, Josh. What'd that pay?
Yeah, I think it was $100 for 2, so it's $150 there.
Too. Can you say pot scoop?
pot scoop to the that massive carryover you were talking about.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna scoop that carryover for sure.
Yeah, and keep pounding, saying classic Curlin's journey.
He's not wrong.
Like what happened? Didn't it look like the 1 was gonna blow by and then just like lost?
It looked like he came in. He came in on the 7 and kind of stopped, and then he kind of found another gear. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know if the 7 came out on him or if he kind of came in or either way.
So it was funny. So, and Chase, we not to pick on you because you've done this a couple times now. Like as in like this kind of streaming, like, we can't show the video. So you kind of got to watch the race and kind of make calls. But man, Caleb, I was trying really hard not to do what we said Chase does, where it's like we see what we want to see. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where your horse is at the top of the turn. Oh, here comes my horse. Here it comes. Like, it doesn't matter who, like, could be 20 lengths behind and you still think it's going to make that run. I was like, but yeah. It's tough. I think we need to get like, I got to see what Jason Beam's rate is for an hour of podcasting and get him on here and call a couple races for us because that's the only way we can get around this this little yeah.
I mean, I was trying to avoid having the lean go too much.
I saw what I wanted to see in the first two calls in terms of getting the lead and then the time, but I knew that horse was dead by the time it hit the stretch. It just that 4 just completely folded up.
With my love of speed, I was cursing the 4's name after it broke out, and I was just like, "Oh, great, here he goes." So, Caleb, since we've been playing a lot of Siege lately, and we've had a lot of celebratory baby splashes, and do I do the Glenmorangie 14 or do I do the Oban 14 for a little?
Oh man, you gotta celebrate! You gotta celebrate. That's a nice hit. That's
so which one is that? The Oban then?
I'd probably go with the Oban. Yeah,
a little baby splasher, the Oban 14.
It's weird because my shirt says handicapping wagering bourbon.
I'm gonna have to work on that.
My shirt also says bourbon on there somewhere, and the hoodie says it on the back. And
but Chase's shirt says New Orleans.
What does your shirt say?
Is there not more?
It says Kane on the back.
Oh, John Massey coming in with the clutch pronunciation correction.
Oban.
Saying Oban, you fucking Philistine.
Oh, dude. I didn't tell you guys when I went to the store and I was making small talk with the guy who runs he doesn't run the department, but he's just like a guy who works in the bourbon and Scotch area of the store. And so I said Islay. And he just fucking laid into me. He's like, under no circumstances do you ever go into a store again and say Islay. All right. Huh? Islay? I forgot. Isn't it like Isla or something like that? Isn't that how you're supposed to pronounce it?
I just say
John Massey will correct me, I'm sure. But he said, under no circumstances do you go to a store and say Islay. They will laugh you out of there. He's like, I learned that because I told that to a Scot. I said Islay, and he made sure I never forgot.
Apparently it's Isla.
Yeah, Isla or Isla. Yeah.
Isla.
Highlight?
Yeah, Isla would be.
Wait, we talking Gulfstream Park West?
Highlight?
Hialeah.
The game with the Edward Basket hands?
Edward Basket hands. All right, Mark, you were real excited about race 13 here, the very one.
Oh,
Talk to me.
Put me on the spot, huh? Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, race 13. The very one, $125,000 purse, mile and 3/16. And I mean, there's a couple of horses in here that make quite a bit of sense. I think the 2, Bella Laura, definitely fits in here. And I also think the Chad Brown that Chad Brown, Madcat Stables, shipper from France obviously makes a lot of sense. But the horse that I'm really sort of interested in is the 9 Warlike Goddess.
Yes.
If you know anything about Bill Mott, it's that Bill Mott is horrendously bad with firsters. So if a Bill Mott firster fires, it's a very talented horse. And then he wheels this one right back into an allowance, and it wins again. And if you watch that allowance race, that was amazingly impressive. Tons of turn of foot, going a little bit longer in distance, and really, really looked good in there. Timeform Figs came back really strong for that Churchill Downs race. Definitely getting a class test here, but 10-1 on the morning line. This is the kind of horse that I want. A horse that figures fit. You're getting paid to play, and albeit I don't love the jock selection the most, this one is super, super interesting to me.
Absolutely dripping in pedigree.
Yep.
You have Bill Mott, who's winning at a 31% clip right now at Gulfstream. And it's something that even Mark and I mentioned during the summer last year. Like it was his 2-year-old crop and his 3-year-old crop. So now his 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds they looked amazing last summer, and they were all firing right off the bat. So we kind of predicted that Bill Mott is going to have a big year, and he already won Kentucky Derby prep at Tampa Bay, which means the horse will never win the Kentucky Derby. But Still,
Leave King Guillermo alone, okay? I'm not over it yet.
yeah. That's why I didn't say the name. You did that to yourself. Pop a quarter in your ass. You played yourself there. But yeah, I'm 100% with you. I really like this Belmont horse.
Yeah, I'm sort of scratching my head at why this horse was so cheap. I mean, they only paid 30,000 at the OBS June for this one. English Channel on the top end, Northern Light or North Light on the bottom end. That's just a really awesome pedigree. Really,
and a Calumet horse. I mean, to boot.
And Calumet didn't keep the horse either. So you kind of scratch your head at what happened. Maybe this one just really developed and filled out. Obviously, it's a horse that got a later start in the 3-year-old season, so maybe they sold this one. Somebody was either pinhooking it or sold it on the young side, and the horse really developed and just blossomed out. I know some of the English channels tend to get a little better as they get a little older, so maybe this was just a little bit of a late bloomer. But yeah, I really like this horse. I think it's a new shooter into a division that probably isn't the strongest, and takes another even tiny step forward here, and I think can win this easily.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there another real great Bill Mott firster that won first time out by the name of Hidden Scroll?
Did Hidden Scroll win his first race?
Yeah. That's like what made him famous, was that fucking 20 length win in the slop.
Yeah.
But
every time I hear that Bill Mott thing, like I just think about Hidden Scroll, so I'm just always like, whatever. But I mean, hey, this is turf. This could be different this time. And he won his second race, so Hidden Scroll didn't win another race for like 2 years, right?
Josh.
Yeah, excuse me. Caleb, did you get a chance to look at this one yet?
Yeah, but this is kind of the part where we need Brian, because I also really like the 9, and we need someone to like disagree. I can tell you I'm not using either Chad Brown. I'm not interested in a Chad Brown horse that was too slow overseas and then is by Lope de Vega, who's the 6 horse I'm talking about, who kind of is known for getting very precocious, high-performing 2-year-olds that don't usually develop that much as they get older. The 7 is Union Rags horse, so I'm not going to bet that on turf, even though it has 3 turf wins already. They've also been kind of slow. I mean, I really do think the 9 makes a ton of sense. I mean, with Leparoux, with the wide draw, and this horse not really having any speed, could be a problem. I'm not really sure where the speed comes from here. I guess Antoinette might be your pace threat here. So I probably will use her. She's never faced older horses, so that's always a big question mark. But her 3-year-old figures aren't that much slower than what I think it would take to win here. So if you project some improvement, and again, we talked about Belmont. I mean, how good he's been. This kind of feels like maybe I don't know if this is the other Belmont or the Belmont, and the other Belmont does the other Belmont. But Belmont holds a strong hand in here, no matter how you slice it. So I think Antoinette kind of interests me. And maybe Bella Laura is the other horse that might flash some early speed. But I do really like Mark's 9 and Chase's 9.
Yeah, Bill Mott's kind of got the Aiden thing going, doesn't he? Here in this race, he's got the front runner and he's got the off the pace horse, and he doesn't care how he wins it. And he's got 2 shots at it. I actually really like Antoinette here. Surprise! I like the speed. I kind of agree with you, Caleb. I don't know where the speed's really going to come from. Kind of questioned a bit the ride that Manny Franco gave last time out. Just took the horse way far back. So yeah, I just didn't like it. You're going to get Jose Ortiz aboard, who when he's at his best, like on the lead with a turf horse is, that's where he makes his money. So I think this is just a great fit. Jock to run style here. I know Mark is trashing Leparoux, but if you're going to want Julian to rate and come off the pace, I mean, that's literally what he's going to do, no matter if your horse is a front runner or a closer. So I mean, might as well match it up with a closer. So I think that both the Mott horses here are definitely in with a shot. I do see our boy Road Warrior, who is just a Naira fan, to a T here, and he's like Charlie Brown at 4-1, 8-1. He feels like he's in a dream, and Irad rides the longer one. This seems too easy.
When someone says Charlie Brown, I just think of the cha-cha slide now. Charlie Brown.
How do you Charlie Brown? Can you demonstrate that for us, there, Chase?
Oh God, no! My Charlie Browning days are way behind me. I believe it's like a toes in, heels out, sort of sort of thing.
Okay.
I can cha-cha real smooth.
Yeah, let's see it. Turn it up to the left. Take it back now, y'all. 2 hops this time, right? Is that how it goes? Yeah, exactly. Caleb's just drinking. Yeah, I think we took that one a little too long. So, Mark, I do need to call you out a little bit because I know we talked about this off stream, but I have this highlighted here, the 7 horse, and you said that you actually you like this horse better. I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit. See if people can see this here.
Could you zoom in any more, Josh?
Yeah, I'm zooming in. Let's see if I can get one more. Yeah. So I'm looking at the sire line here.
Eye on rags.
Oh God, I zoomed in too much.
Josh, that's terrible.
Oh God,
Josh.
Anyways, yeah. So Union Rags on turf.
It's sort of like a horse with big Tomlinsons that, or sort of, I should say, a horse with low Tomlinsons that's shown that it can win on the slop. You sort of toss them out and you say, well, this is a horse that shown that he can win. She can win on turf. Arad, I would assume, has choice here on which of the 2 Chads he lands on, and he lands on this one. I realize he was on, Jose was on this one last out, so that isn't even a valid point. Or no, wait a second. I can't read in Josh's stupid form. Hold on. Let me look at mine. That actually makes sense here. No, so Arad was on the 7 last out, where he did win. So, maybe he just stuck with the horse he won last out on. But I'm going to assume that that's the Chad you want. Yeah, I know it's Union Rags on turf, but the horse is won on turf. So don't you sort of at some point toss? I mean, isn't this sort of like the California Chrome argument where everybody said, well, California Chrome's pedigree, top and bottom, says he can't get a classic distance. And then he did. And you sort of have to go, well, obviously he can because he has in the past. Like, isn't there some sort of point where you throw in the towel and say, okay, I guess this is a horse that can do that?
I just threw up my mouth a little bit.
I know I just tried to make a case for Union Rags and turf. I'm sorry.
Where's Murphy? Can someone call him? Do you have time to get on this call? Yeah, I'm kind of just taking a look here at the I guess the summary, kind of looking at some of these pace figures and run styles. Yeah, I just don't see anybody else running with Antoinette. Like, what, maybe the 2, possibly Bellora? We talked about this horse at all.
But I'll tell you what, Josh, if you've watched the turf the past, let's say 2 or 3 racing days, speed is good. It's Gulfstream speed's always going to be good, but you have not wanted to be that loose lead type on turf routes. So I know you do love you some cheap speed, and we can go to that race if you want, but I want a horse from a little off it.
Sorry, I'm messaging Murphy. Road Warrior says he feels like he's stuck at his minor league ballpark.
There's 2 things that minor league ballparks, 3 things that minor league ballparks love: clunker car night, anything involving midgets, and the cha-cha slide.
I thought stupid promos, like stupid, like
That's stupid. That's kind of like a catch-all umbrella, and it's way less fun to say it like that. I don't know why you had to be such boner poison there, Mark.
Boner poison. I gotta work that into my vocabulary somehow.
It's much more fun if you say it like this: boner poison.
I'm not gonna try that, but
no,
so
please do.
John Massey thinks that the 7 might be going forward a little bit. Yeah, I could see the 7 maybe, trying to show a little bit of speed. Has shown a little bit of speed at Belmont. Does seem to do its best running, though, coming from a couple lengths off.
I very rarely does he send a horse really on either surface, but especially turf. The best bet of this race would be this horse is sitting between 2nd and 4th going into the first turn.
Yeah, I agree. This horse is going to set 3 lengths off and is going to, be a first run stalking type.
But it's
All
also in rags. So.
Was there anything else? Any other races on this card you guys were kind of excited to talk about?
Josh, I think there's one race that we do have to get to, and you really have to you have to go there and talk about. I think it's
race 8. Race 8.
Gulfstream Park mile.
No, I think it's race 8, isn't it? Oh, is it a GP mile?
No. Oh yeah, is it?
I thought it was a turf race. No.
Hold
what
on.
race are you looking for?
Race 10. Well,
we need to talk about race 11 to be sure.
Is it race 11? Look, I forgot. Okay, I got messages from tons of people who were just telling me, "Hey, your horse is running back," and I was like, "Which one?"
Caleb's right. It's race 11. It is the Grade 3 Honey Fox.
Look at. I know last time I said how much did I bet on Jakarta in this last race?
Way more than you should have.
Wasn't that the horse that broke you?
That was the horse.
Spiral.
That was the horse that broke him.
It was a pretty bad downward spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I had something like 22. Like I think I had $25 doubles into and out of this horse, and I think I had like $50 to win. Like it was just like I think I had like probably like a total of $150, $200 going through this horse. Which like if you guys don't know, for me is like the like an entire week's worth probably of wagering for me. It was all going through this horse, and this horse just did not run didn't break well, just like. And now he fucking shows up here, lone speed with Kendrick Carmouche board.
The fact that Kendrick gets up just makes it so much better. Josh's favorite jockey.
Yes. The reason that no one had sympathy for you the last time you went on Super Tilt for Jakarta was like, what did you expect to happen? Like you almost just, it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It was just like, I'm going to bet this horse, it's going to lose, and I'm going to go 100% on tilt, and I'm going to make everyone else miserable because I am on tilt. And that is exactly how that shit went down.
I believe I said if that horse lost, I was going to quit horse racing.
Yeah,
those were my exact words.
I think really means that you honestly want to quit horse racing because you knew how that was going to work.
It was not great, but I'm sure that I will have some money going through this horse. I know Got Stormy's in this race. And is definitely the classiest of the horses in here. Got Stormy also is quickly turned into a horse I want to root against because it's new ownership group. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Oh, my racehorse, yeah.
Yeah, my racehorse decided, hey, let's buy in. Let's buy Got Stormy. They also bought Monomoy Girl. So. Yeah, it looks like we got two new horses to root against there. Yeah, I mean, Got Stormy makes
what's all the my racehorse hate. If they end up attracting new young blood to the sport who then eventually gets smart and realizes how horribly diluted they're getting, and then they get into it in a better way, isn't that a net win for the sport? And also look at some of the lines you get on, first timers out at Santa Anita, where a horse that should be 10-1 gets bet down to 3-5, and the rest of us can make money on that.
Okay, but the first person that comes up to me, I meet at a track and says, "Hey, I owned a Derby winner and a female horse of the year," I'm going to punch in the face.
That's a proper that's how you deal with that, Josh.
They have $100 in shares in both horses. I don't know.
I mean, let's not pretend that your casual sports fans who aren't even racing fans are going out to spend money to be a part owner. That's not step one. Like, you might be getting your already kind of invested race fans that are taking their, fucking stimulus checks and going out and, buying a couple shares of Monomoy Girl, thinking that they're mistakenly going to ever see a dime from that. But, the person who's new to racing isn't going to start by buying a share of a horse they know nothing about and don't understand.
I don't. Sure.
It's like introducing someone to gambling by teaching them 3-card Monty.
I don't know. Like, it's fine, right? It's fine. Like you were talking to Caleb earlier. Like, it's good in a couple of reasons. And I think we were talking real quick. I put Chase's ticket up for race 10 here. He's got an exacta and a tri play. I'll leave that up while I talk here. But we had talked about it. I think where was it? Was it at Santa Anita? There was some horse, and you're like, why the fuck is this horse 1-5? How did this horse open 1-5?
Just mentioned this.
Yeah, and it was a my racehorse horse, and that's why I opened up 1-5. But
the horse went off at a quarter of the price it should have been, and it inflated everybody else's odds, so we could, all the rest of us that knew what was going on, could make money. That's not a bad thing for us.
Yeah, just like here's what I will say. All right, here's what I will say. Much like John Massey said earlier. And I'm going to scroll back up, see if I can find it. Horse racing loves trying to keep their customers stupid, like American voters. Please, if you are buying into a My Racehorse horse, read the fine print, read everything, and make sure. Someone did the math. In order for you to double your money on Monomoy Girl, you're going to need to win. I think she needs to win like $2.2 million in purses this year. All right, which is possible with Monomoy Girl. Don't get me wrong; like it's possible. I mean, she's got to win the distaff and she's got to win a couple other big stakes. But they were very specific in the My Racehorse thing where it said 51% of horse racing winnings. I didn't see anything about breeding rights. So just please, I could be wrong. I just know that I saw 51% of race winnings. So please make sure that you're reading the fine print before anyone goes out and uses their stimmy on some horse racing shares there.
By the way, Josh, I think you also need to discuss race 9, the mile, because there's such a U horse in there,
dude. There's a big streak of me horses in here because there was a horse I wanted to talk about that Caleb and I were talking about last night. Was that in race 7? Oh, I should probably share my screen again. Oh, what race was it, Caleb?
We talked about a lot of races. What you talking about?
Oh, I'm looking at Sam Houston. That's why it's not. I'm not. Race 7. No, 8. Oh, race 8. The one busy channel here for Mr. Larry Ravelli. I think there is a couple times where I think Caleb and I were both on this horse.
There were.
I know I definitely was on Turfway last time it ran. But this horse has got one button, and it's the go button. So we'll see. I thought there was a little bit more speed signed up in this race, or maybe not. Maybe it might be lone speed here. But that was a horse I was kind of looking at, maybe trying to key some stuff around. And then you said race 9. There's a me horse here.
There's such a me horse. There are 3 minutes to post it from Sammy Houston, though.
Oh, you're talking about Wind of Change?
Yes, that is. Peak Josh horse right there.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's even got the South American shipper angle you love.
Oh, dude, hey, those South American shippers, man. All right, we're going into race 10 here at Sam Houston. I'm done. I cashed my double. I'm feeling good with that. Caleb, I know you're still live in the pick 6. Who you got here?
I'm single to the 1 here, so this is make or break time. I acknowledge this 5 is probably the horse to beat. I hate betting horses that just broke their maiden. Although this does seem like a horse that has been just screaming for a stretch out, finally got it and responded with a big win. So, this is certainly the horse to beat. But this one horse really interested me here. It should be forwardly placed also on the stretch out here. I don't know who this trainer is, but, last 3 years, 43% sprinter out, only 4 for 7, but nevertheless, pretty good numbers there. That last fig was really good. The horse is 45 to 1. So was that, a random effort, or can this horse run back to that? I'm kind of banking that maybe she can, but I guess we'll find out. I'm getting paid to make that decision anyway. So, I'm single to the 1. If you don't take the maidens, the last stop maiden breakers, there isn't a whole lot of options here.
There's a ton of speed here. I like your idea with the taking a horse that's going to run from off the pace. When it comes to people I want coming from off the pace. I like the mount for Lane Luzzy a little bit better than I like. Well, I really don't know anything about Ernesto Jimenez Valdez. So, I kind of thought that this 5 was definitely the horse to beat. My exacta that I have here, the 5 over the 3-6. I mean, it pays okay. The try might be decent with the 1 underneath if I can get the 3 and 6 underneath somewhere. But I'm definitely going to be rooting for your 1 because, I mean, what's more exciting than a 1-5 winning? It's a fucking 8-1 winning and Caleb still being alive in the pick 6.
Mark, did you have anything going through here?
I was dead after the last race. I'm firing back another pick 3 that's 1-7 over 1-2 over 1-8. My top pick was Caleb's 1, so sorry, Caleb.
Hey, that worked out the last time.
It did work out the last time, so yeah.
Did we get it twice in a row or twice in a night?
I'm looking full chalk eating weasel in this race.
Our boy Brian, I know he wasn't feeling great. I know he's been working a shit ton, but he's in chat. He likes the 7 here at SHRP 4-1.
Also like Brian's 7.
The man with 2 first names, Stephen William over here, he likes the 6 at 21-1. He's asking if he's crazy. I will never talk anybody off anything above like 15-1. I mean, like,
so you're not
even see an inkling.
Maybe like 25-1.
No, I'm definitely not Caleb.
People off those.
So after this race at Sam Houston, can we talk about some racing that actually fucking matters instead of all this Gulfstream Park bullshit?
You got something you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Oaklawn?
We've got the Southwest Stakes at Oaklawn. You've got the Bayakoa on Sunday, the return of Monomoy Girl. You've got the Spring Fever. You've got the Razorback Handicap. The Razorback Handicap, that's a big race when it comes to older horse division when it comes to Breeders' Cup time.
I haven't looked at it yet, but I'll grab the form and we can talk. I'll grab it now while we're holding in here.
What are we talking first? Do you want me to do some Razorback?
Yeah, let's look at the Razorback first.
I like some Razorback. That's good. That's always a good race every year.
Who is it who loves Owen Dale?
It's Josh.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
Let's see.
Why, seen that race?
Yep,
Yes,
Rosario up on Owen Dale.
Oh, come on. Why you got to tell me these kinds of things? I was not planning on putting a cent through Oaklawn this weekend.
Our horses in that race.
Honka?
He will get loose.
Honka. Yeah, I'm still bitter about that Honka photo that I lost in the I think it was the 5th season on opening weekend. Even though I finally saw the official and I accept it, but I'm still upset about it.
I'll tell it.
Keep pounding. Keep pounding likes the 4. He likes the Sophie bomb here. Joe saying that we got some late money coming down the 1 here per Joe.
Like if you didn't single the 5 here, you could make an argument for pretty much every horse. Let's go 1. Let's go Ernesto.
Dude, I want you to be live through this. I want you to be live. I was gonna cut off at 9, but if you're still live in this fucking pick 6, we might have to stay on.
Dude, if this 1 gets home, this pick 6 will be nice, no matter what happens in the last 2. Because this 5's probably the most singled horse in the sequence.
Yeah, what's the starter doing? The starter, like, I always laugh when I see these starters like literally stand like right in front of the gate. Like I'm always just waiting for the horse to just like rear up and just like kick the gate open and knock him down. I don't know why.
Even when they stand just to the side of the gate, whenever they let him go, they still seem like the most brave people on the face of the planet.
Did you see
him still on the track?
Gate? He was like he hit the button and did the moonwalk out of the way. Like what the fuck?
The 3 kind of came out all cattywampus and bumped my 1 a little bit, but.
Did you just drop a cattywampus?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's in Central Arkansas, there's a town, Conway, and its high school mascot is the Wampus Cat. It's a mythical 6-legged cat. Remember Peyton Hillis, Madden cover boy from Conway? He was a Wampus Cat.
Peyton Hillis, there's a name I haven't heard of in a while.
Oh, Peyton Hillis.
He was on my Little League baseball team.
Madden cover athlete.
Him and his brother were both on my Little League baseball team.
This 4 is loose. I thought there'd be a little more space in here.
Yeah, looks like keep
That's
pounding
slow.
score. Keep
He'll be
Pounding's
tough to beat
4
from here.
is looking pretty good.
This
The
4's gonna be
6.
really tough to beat.
I think he's over. I think he's done.
Yeah, this 5 looks like he's got a lot of horse underneath him.
You guys must be ahead of me because this 5's going backwards on my stream. Not as backwards as my fucking 1, but
Oh man, the man with 2 first names, his horse, the 6.
7
took the lead.
oh, he wrapped up the 1.
Oh, it's 6. I'm sorry.
6 is gone.
Oh,
Who is the
it's gone.
6?
Oh, Mr. Stephen William.
Yeah, man, very nice call.
Nice call.
Mr. Stephen William.
I'll be honest, if you gave me my pick of every horse except for 1 in that race, I think that 6 might have been the
6
one
the horse
I left off.
Yep.
That's a man who just hit a nice little bet there.
That's the other Asmussen horse, the 0 for 22 Rodolfo Guerrero horse that broke his maiden for 10,000 at Gulfstream or at Delta. That's not my kind of horse, but nice pick.
There's this.
I can't be mad about it. Nice pick. You got paid. Shit, this pick 6 probably carries now.
Maybe we get another carry into the early pick 6 tomorrow. I think the reason they're running 2 pick 6s is because I think they added races.
Is one of them a jackpot and one of them not a jackpot?
No, they're both 50 cent.
See,
But I think it might.
the Delta form, it just keeps coming back to bite you.
I mean, the Delta form I respect. It was really the connections angle that sort of had me less excited.
All right, so real quick, just a little teaching moment here. Let's take a look at this form here. We didn't really look at this race much here. So the 6. Oh, it was an Assman horse. Okay. Won last time out at Delta.
How did a Steven Asmussen horse get off at 16-1 at fucking Sam Houston Park?
Look at the jock.
Holy shit.
Rodolfo Guerra, 10% jock.
Yeah, I mean, he deserved to be 16-1. If you picked him, you got paid, as far as I'm concerned.
I thought that 4 was good.
Josh, I have him as a 4% jock. He's 1 for 23 this meet.
I have him over 22, so you must
I have him over 22 this meet, but I have him 9% on 2020 and 2021. So I tend to look at lifetime stats, or full year stats. I mean, I do look at meet stats, but with 22 starts, I'm not
if you're looking at year-long stats, you must be betting a lot of Jose down at Gulfstream, huh?
I mean, yes, I love Jose Ortiz, and I'm not afraid to tell anybody. But there was that Jose Ortiz horse that went off at just some gaudy odds earlier today. And I think Caleb said the only reason he didn't bet him was because Jose was aboard. But
Stephen Williams is quite excited.
Yeah, I know. I showed his big old yes there. So nice.
What'd you do, Stephen Williams? Tell us. How'd you bet that? Did you just hit it to win?
He made some big money on that. That's a great price. And honestly, did the 5 get second?
Yep.
I was going to say, if that 4 held second, that'd be a monster exacta.
I bet you that 16-5, 16 or 16-1 over 2-5 exacta still probably paid.
I'm sure it's still good, but either way, it's a nice price, nice hit.
It was for a buck. It was a $34 exacta, which
that's pretty soft.
Yeah, pretty skimpy. A really skimpy trifecta. Really skimpy trifecta.
Short field. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. And you had the horse that was taking the majority of the pool money finishing second. If you maybe bumped it down into third, that would have been a good exacta and a great trifecta, I bet.
All right, so what do you guys want to go through? We can go through a couple of these. We got look at this. Nick C hitting that double daily double. Took your guys 1 and just did a 1 all daily double.
Oh, nice.
The longest price on the board, $211 for a buck.
Good stuff.
Very good stuff, man. Nicely done.
Stephen William with the straight win bet. So nice. We got some winners today. I cashed a nice little double, which is going to help my weekend fund.
I feel like the daily double with a keyed horse with all is just, I feel like it's a shat upon play, but I also feel like sometimes it's just such a really smart play.
I think
it's a really nice hedge play. It's a really nice if you're skinny sort of coverage hedge. And I think also in that sort of a sequence, if you were looking at this race that just ended and you're going, hey, I think this race is more even. It's more of a flat race than it is. It's a long-term great ROI type play.
Yeah, I if you have like a longer odds horse like that one, where did the one go off at in the?
He was 12-1, I think.
Yeah, if you have a price like that, 12-1, like if there's only like 5 or 6 horses and you have those sort of will pays, and if your opinion is strong enough on that horse, then I really think it's a smart play. It's something that I mentioned that I wish I had actually played at Aqueduct today, which was longest price on the board to all, and I got like 3-1 on it because the favorite came in, but it was still 3-1 for a really easy daily double because I just turned it into a pick one.
Like, I guess the thing I would say is, like, if you're in the position to do it, always, if you're playing anything with an all, at least play 2 tickets, right? At least play 2 tickets, because like you have to have an opinion somewhere, and even if you don't, right, at least play another ticket back and like double the amount of the favorite or something, right? If you're playing like an all, like at least leverage your opinions a little bit, because I feel like if you're just hitting the all button and just like praying to the gods and not actually like trying to leverage something, like I don't know.
Well, I guess my argument is if you catch a good enough price, if the horse you're going after in that in one of those legs where you're keyed is a good enough price, then you probably do have leverage for the majority of the horses that are in the race. So, I mean, it can be a hedge play. It can be just like I'm slamming my opinion on a longer odds horse. Like I wouldn't take a favorite and do it. If I were going to do that, then most definitely I would
look at my boy Nick
leverage it
C.
up.
Look at my boy Nick C. He's like, yeah, I had the 1-5 for 5x more than the rest of it. So like,
yeah, but you're saying it's 100%. You have to you better be leveraging up, and I'm not even sure if that's the case. Especially if you're a newer player and you've got a smaller bankroll, you might. I mean,
that's why I said if you have the means to do it, like if you can, if you're going to play, like if.
Oh,
and like,
well, I didn't hear you say that, so.
I mean, like I do this often, like especially if I'm playing a double, and like say like I'm okay spending like I don't know $20 into this double, right? I might have 15 of it going one way, and then I use the extra 5 to leverage that opinion on what my strongest opinion is. Now it's tougher to do with the all button because essentially what you're doing is you're praying, right? You're hoping and praying that you're getting the bomb, but I just think that like it. Like when I play these pick tickets and stuff like that, I usually try to play 2 tickets. If not, I'm usually trying to at least leverage it up, 2x or something. But anyways, let's talk about your track here, Chase. I know you want to get to Oak Lawn. We got a couple minutes here before I know you got to put the kids to bed, but let's start with the Razorback here. All right, your horse right here is a 2. Hunk of Burning Love. This is like your favorite horse in the grounds, right, Chase?
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's I love the horse because it will just absolutely run its eyeballs out every single time that it goes out. Just max effort. It's a real speed ball on the front end. Barely got caught by who was it? Silver something. One of the Asmussen silver horses in the last race that it ran the 5th season by a photo, very fairly close photo. You've also got Owen Dale in for Brad Cox with Joel Rosario up. Owen Dale's a horse that last time it won was the Blame. Back at Churchill Downs in May. There doesn't appear to be just an overwhelming bit of speed outside of Hunk of Burning Love, and then. You've got a couple of horses that really want to close into a hot pace. You have like Silver Prospector for Asmussen. You've got Owen Dale for Brad Cox. You've got R-Rated Superstar. And one horse that I think you should really look out for is R-Rated Superstar, because not only does that horse run really well at Oaklawn, always seems to get at least one stakes, win a meet, but it seems to really run well at Oaklawn in the slop, and it will be sloppy. So you can't really make. I feel like you can't really make any bold predictions because we don't know what this track is going to look like. It could be fair, it could be speed favoring, it could be a little bit more closer favoring. If it's a speed favoring track, then I would probably drain the 401k on Hunk of Burning Love, getting out on the front end and taking him gate to wire. I mean, he can run the distance. I mean, he's got wins out to 1 1/8 miles. He can do shorter. It's a horse that I always look forward to running, and his game travels. Like, he runs at a bunch of shit tracks, but he always performs everywhere he goes. Owen Dale is definitely going to be your favorite, just because of the Brad Cox, the hot Cox at Oaklawn. And it's a very, a lot of back class, a lot of accomplishments for Owen Dale. R-rated Superstar is just this absolute grinder. And, the only other horse that I might be looking into is Mystic Guide, shipping down from New York with Michael Stidham, especially with Luis Saez aboard. This is more than likely going to be your pace challenge to Hunk of Burning Love. The reason I say that is because they're sending Saez, and I feel like that's kind of the ride that he'll give, and not really be passive and let Hunka get out to the lead. I mean, there are a lot of options here. I don't feel like it's as clear cut as Owen Dale and Next by any means. I think you could get a price. I might personally be looking to get around Owen Dale. I'll say right now, my two where I'm really interested in are going to be R-rated Superstar and Hunka at prices.
So Chase, I was gonna say, if you're a Tomlinson's person, Mystic Guide is your horse. 457 Tomlinsons, which are just absolutely massive. He's never actually run on an off track, and his run style doesn't necessarily fit it. He's a little more off, and you normally want somebody a little more on the pace. But I know you're saying the Oaklawn track was playing weird today, so let's see what tomorrow brings and get a better handle on the track. I would imagine they've had some horses run across it. They've had some works across it. They'll get to work it a little. But yeah, I'm gonna say Mystic Guide is your slot monster pedigree horse here. Goes Zap over AP Indy. If you know anything about off track pedigree, that's about as good as it gets.
I mean, if we just want to look at accomplishments, you have Hunk of Burning Love, who's 6-2, 1-0 over off tracks. Let's see, R-rated Superstar, not as accomplished, but it seems
3 mailman money is perfect on an off track.
Yeah, I just saw that also.
Way too slow on Figs, but and he's got Talamo up.
I don't think he's fast enough. You mentioned it.
Yeah.
What's up with the Broberg barn? I mean, I'm seeing 1 for 22. This is a guy who usually, I don't know how he does at Oaklawn per se, but he's a very high percentage guy at Remington, Lone Star, Delta. Is he just taking lower quality stock to Oaklawn and paying the price, or what do you think's going on?
I think what's happening is that Mike Sisk and M&M Racing has changed their priorities. They seem to want to kind of step out of the claiming game a little bit and not play. For the last 2 years, it seemed like you could almost count on a coupled entry with M&M Racing in almost every single claiming race. And they had, it was like Diodoro and Broberg were the coupled entries, and they would just, win a ridiculous amount of races. Well, they're not doing that as much anymore. So he's running more of his own like end zone athletics horses that are coming up from like Delta Downs, from Houston, from Lone Star, from Remington Park. And, I feel like the last couple of years, he's had kind of a sweet setup with these M&M coupled entries. I mean, also, and this is not accusing Broberg of anything, but there have been some changes to the rules as to, what race day medications they're allowing and not allowing, the ability to ship, enter a horse, ship him onto the grounds, ship him back out, ship him back in right before the race. That there are some other big name trainers who are not doing very well with these rule changes. I mean, Ingrid Mason is another one. Diodoro's really not having that great of a year. Whereas,
but
last year,
Franco is still winning at 20%. So
you can pop an espresso bean up a horse's ass and we'll do amazing things. I think it's a little bit less of like the rules changes as much as like he's not on these like these better M&M claimers. M&M seems to be focused on allowance, stakes horses, and the word is they actually want to try to start like an Arkansas breeding program, and that's a little bit more of their focus. One thing though is like Hunka is the star probably right now of Broberg's barn. That horse is going to run well. That's if any of his horses are going to run well, it's that one.
One thing I did I do kind of appreciate about Broberg is, I mean, it seems like he's going into deeper waters this year. He started shipping more horses up to New York. So I know he kept a barn up there at Aqueduct, and he started shipping horses to Hawthorne too. So it seems like he's trying. I think he might just be trying a bunch of different things. So I think he's just, he's shipping his horses elsewhere than what he's been doing the past couple of years. So honestly, I think that's probably the bigger change for him. I mean, when was the last time he ran a bunch of horses in New York? Has he ever?
He's got a string up in New York now, and they're not doing very well.
Yeah, it's a really small string too. Like he doesn't have more than like a handful of horses. It's the majority of his horses are in the Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas area.
Mark, what did you like here?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with Caleb here. I think Hunka makes a ton of sense. I think Mystic Guide makes a ton of sense, assuming it's an off track. And Owen Dale is always dangerous. He makes a lot of sense in there, and he's perfect.
Did I just get confused with Caleb again?
You did.
Yes.
Life small victories.
Yeah, did you look at the race at all?
I mean, I looked at it. Nothing here really does much for me. I mean, I'm always against Owen Dale. I don't care if he runs in like a claiming race at Mountaineer. I'm not going to bet that horse. But I mean, he's probably the horse to beat. I do kind of get the pace angle on Hunka Burning Love. I just think that he's kind of a little on the cheap side. But especially with a cold barn. But I definitely get the pace angle for a horse that really is a warrior and likes to win. I mean, I didn't really love anything here. I don't want somebody coming from way off of it. So I'm not super interested in like Rated R Superstar, who seems to kind of get pretty far off the pace. And Mystic Guide, I mean, I don't know what to do with that horse. I mean, it's one of them 3-year-old to 4-year-old transitions. Like, Stidham has been pretty cold, like on the whole. So I'm not really sure what I want to do with him. He did beat Jesus' team 2 back, and he just lost to Happy Saver, who I'm still not sure how good Happy Saver is because we haven't really seen him again. Yeah, I mean, he beat Tacitus. That tells you a lot of what you need to know. So I don't know. I mean, on long range Toddy, he's clearly fallen off a cliff, and he can't win over an off track. So like, I wouldn't go there. Like, there's really nobody in here that I really love. I mean, if it comes up really sloppy, I do kind of like Mark's point about the 3. I mean, the horse does like to win over a sloppy track, and even if the figs are a little bit light, that horse would interest me a little bit, as well as maybe this one horse as well. This was a Derby trail horse for a long time. Didn't do a whole lot of running last time, but pretty much any of the horses he lost to there would be pretty big favorites here, or close to co-favorites with Owen Dale at the very least. So I guess that's a horse I could maybe look at if that 5-1 line is legit, but nobody here did much for me.
Keep pounding saying, "Oh God, not Silver Prospector." I can't stop losing bets on that horse. So
I've been there.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see 2 horses in here. I want. I like Chase's 2, Hunka Burning Love, and I like the outside horse, Mystic Guide. I don't really think I need to go much deeper than that. Mystic Guide is 9-5, the 9-5 favorite on the morning line. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mystic Guide goes off much shorter. But with me taking a short price like that, I wouldn't want to go more than 2 deep here anyway. So I'll go with the speed horse, and I'll go with Mystic Guide, probably sitting in that tracking position.
So you're gonna go with the speed horse and the other speed horse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
cool.
I'm gonna call the other one a tracker to make it look like
you're not
smart.
Yeah.
I do want to throw out some fresh degeneracy. My pick 6 is dead. I can't play a double here because I'll just never play like a 2x4 double, and it's probably what I would need to do here. So I'm going to play a trifecta just for some cheap action. I'm keying the 1 and 7 both on top.
You son of a bitch! I just sent that in our private chat.
Did you? I didn't see the chat.
Check it out.
I got Chase's.
Wow, and you even had the 10 in on your double. Who I put $2 on him to win as kind of a hedge play, but
I have a win play show. We're like the same person. Who doesn't see it?
Josh mistaked us already. I mean, yeah, I think this 10 gets loose. I agree with the chat there, Stuart, but I don't know if he quite holds on for it. But like at 28, I guess 18-1, he was 28-1 when I looked a second ago. Horse is definitely one that you want to use underneath your exotics. So yeah, I played a 1-7 over 1-7-10 over 1-3-5-7-10 try.
We're talking Sam Houston race 11 here, right?
Sam Houston race 11. Yeah. Basically, I'm playing against this 2-horse, just thinking that this horse is broke down. Something went wrong. He didn't even get close to the lead last time. It's a Diodoro. I feel like he gets more lame horses than most. So, if the horse runs back to his summer or 2020 or any of a 2019 form, he wins by a pole. I'm kind of banking at 9-5 that he's lame and won't hit the board. So these are kind of races I like to attack if I think there's a bad favorite.
I'm just kind of looking through this real quick.
Yeah, I played a real cheap double here, 1-2 over 1-8. Basically just continued on my pick 3 from earlier. That was dead first leg.
Yeah, looking at this real quick, I mean, I also like the 1 here. I also like the 5 and the 7. I don't really think am I getting a price on? No, I'm not. I'm getting a little bit of a price on the 5. I didn't look at the last race, but
I love how Josh calls a little bit of a price 9-1.
What is that? Not a little bit of a price?
I mean, that's a pretty good price, man.
Is it? Yeah,
what
but
would you consider?
Double digits.
Like, what would you consider
double digits? It's gotta be double digits. I mean, that one's just only a little bit. It's not even paying $20. Come on. Well, I guess it is paying $20 exactly on the nose, but you really, this 1 looks pretty sharp in the next race too. I don't really know.
You're gonna mush me, aren't you?
Did you have the 6 too in the next race?
No.
Oh, the 6 looks like a huge dropper.
That last race was tough. I had 1, 6, 8, 10 in my pick 6 that is dead, but yeah. I don't want to play a double into that because I really have no confidence. The 10 might be the one I'm most interested in at the price.
I'll give some of this back here. I'm going to do the 1, 5.
You want to check on Chase's
Chase for?
I didn't mute him.
Very nice.
He's not muted.
Hello?
I think
we can
hear you.
Hello? It tells me in here, it says the host muted your mic, I guess.
Oh, I muted you probably like an hour and a half ago for a little bit because I told you I was getting that background, and so it
just lets me know that I should still be offended and hold it against you.
Okay. Let me look at my payouts here. 15716. What am I getting here? 1 is only paying 24 bucks. Yeah. 15716.
Only paying 24.
Yeah.
103.40 for the 1, 194.30 for the 5. Was it 157? Hold on.
15716. So I'm gonna
799.80.
I'm gonna Dutch this a little bit here.
6 scratched. Oh, are you looking at probables in the next race? Or will pay? Are you looking at will? What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking at probables.
What are you doing?
So I got 15716 for $2, and then I got 171 for $2. So I got the 171 combo for $4 total, 2x. So I'm trying to get at least $50 out of this. So that's kind of how I Dutch these. Is I kind of like think of like a payout that I'm interested in, and then I try to figure out what the lowest payout is. So in this case, if I want to make $50, I get the 1's paying 25, so I 2x that, and then $38, I'll 2x that one too. But that's just kind of like on a real quick looking. Normally I try and Dutch based off of like what I actually like, but I'm capping this real fast. Let's see. All right, so Stuart likes a 10. He thinks the 10's getting loose. He's got a tri-key box 10 with 137. John Massey says, didn't 5 win a race like this already? And he's 8-1 here. Am I in the right race? Yep. Josh doesn't like children. Wait a second. I'm like, why am I reading that? Yeah. No, I agree with you, Elliot. I think the 5's definitely got value here.
I don't think Josh likes puppies either. He strikes me as someone who would probably own a fucking ferret.
Nah, I don't have any pets.
Or a goddamn hermit crab.
No pets, no kids. Lots of scotch though. We're gonna crack open this 14 too now.
And
get you and your saxophone.
It's all for that smooth jazz, you know.
Yeah, one of these days I'll probably get like just drunk enough on stream that I'll just like fucking bust out the saxophone and start playing.
We are loading into the gate. Everyone very businesslike thus far.
Well, let's beat this too.
Road Warriors going 3 here. He's going.
Oh, this 10 got a big old butt. Here we go.
It's a sprint too, ain't it?
Yep, it's a 5.5 furlong
sprint.
Oh,
that's right up your alley.
That 10 got bottle service cheeks.
I thought you were getting ready with even though I said I'd be true. But 10's got a big old butt. I'm leaving you.
My handicapping don't want none unless you got buns, hun.
Who's that? LL Cool J?
That's right? Sir Mix-a-Lot.
No, the one I was singing.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
Becky's got a big old butt or whatever. Isn't that the name of that song?
Oh, yeah, that's LL Cool J.
Or Gina's got a big old butt.
One missed the break. 10 is.
Oh, that 10 looks like he's loose now. Shit.
Loosey goosey. One's rushing up. The miss the break and rush up strategy always works, right?
Yeah, that always works great.
Oh no, Ray Lou, what you doing, baby?
Baby, what is he doing?
I just need. Oh, I got the win play show on the 10. If I could get this 10 and an exacta with the 1 or 7, that would be fantastic.
Well, I mean, 1 has to be a little bit gassed after rushing up like that. 10's in a good spot here.
We do to try and fuck this 10.
So this 1 win is much the best.
Yeah, I think where'd the 7 go? He kind of dropped back, huh?
Hopefully they're boxing this 2 out though. There's a lot of traffic.
Oh yeah, 2 ain't getting through. He's got nowhere.
No 1. Box him out.
7.
Oh, here comes that 5. Oh nope, 7's gonna get it easy. Okay.
No, live to the 1 for a daily double, but that's not the horse I wanted.
7.54 it looks like. Oh, Joe with the last minute 7.5 double here. So Joe, I'm telling you, man, if you ever want to see a man who likes to play skinny tickets for the minimum, take a look at Joe. I've never seen the man does a lot of work with like $4. That's like 3 races for him.
So this is really one of those tracks you just use the Asmussen horse every race, don't you?
No, actually, I don't think he's. I mean, what has he been winning? He's like 20%.
He's 28%. He started off pretty cold, but he's been heating up. Okay, but I mean, this horse looked good. I mean, this was not a good field. I mean, the horse made a lot of sense. If you got second, it looked like the 4, maybe. The 4.
It looked like 4 or 5.
There's no chance the 1 held on. I would need that for my try. Which
no, 1 was 12. 1 faded badly on the inside.
Yeah, I needed like 1, 2, 7, 10 to come in under, or 1, 2, or 10 to come in underneath, and the next 2 loads. I don't think any of those.
I need 1, 7, 10, or I need a 1, 10 underneath the 7 on top.
Oh, dude, I'm a big 7. I'm a big 1 fan in this next race. That payout went up to $46 for 2. Are you serious? So I'm live to that 2x, and then I'm live to the 6 1x.
Yeah, so I'm single to the 1 in the next leg for the daily double with the plays that you posted up there for me. Who wants to talk to Southwest?
Let's talk some Southwest here because I have kind of a contrarian take on this race.
You want to set it up? You want me to set it up? How do we want to do this?
You go for it, Chase. I think you're Mr. Oaklawn.
So after 2 delays due to weather, we're finally getting the Southwest Stakes, which is traditionally run on President's Day. It's a 1.1/16, a Kentucky Derby preps race. So Kentucky Derby points are on the line. I don't believe that a Southwest winner has yet to win the Kentucky Derby, but you do have such illustrious winners as Long Range Toddy, other horses that I don't remember because they don't do much afterwards. But this is a pretty good race. You've got Jackie's Warrior, who was the overwhelming favorite in the BC Juvenile, who that was the only race that she's ever kind of, or sorry, I say she because it's Jackie, that he's ever really kind of not performed in. He was a perfect 4-0, or sorry, 5-0, 4-0 leading into it. Then you've also got a entry from the Hot Clocks barn with Essential Quality, another Godolphin horse that actually won the BC Juvenile, where we saw Jackie's Warrior not perform, and it also won the Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland. Also, you have entered the West Coast Invader, trained by that silver-haired fuck himself, Spielberg, who had a terrible race in the RB Lewis, but won the Los Al Futurity. And it has that graded stakes win to its name.
Can I interrupt you real quick, Chase? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Why is John Massey so goddamn smart?
Dude, he's a genius.
Smarty Jones won the Southwest and the Kentucky Derby.
God damn it, John. Couldn't just let that one slide, eh? That's why he got a race named after him at like 4 different tracks. But yeah, so Jackie's Warrior appears to be, I don't think is your morning line favorite. I handicapped this without morning lines. Essential Quality is the morning line favorite. I have a feeling that you'll probably see either co-favorites or very close between Essential Quality, possibly Spielberg, because Oaklawn loves it some Spielberg, with Jackie's Warrior not far behind. You might actually get a little bit of a price if you like Jackie's Warrior. There's a horse I'm interested in here that's outside of the big 3, and that's going to be Woodhouse, the 6, for CR Trout. It's going to be a wet track. There's a lot of wet track pedigree. The problem is that there's not a lot of distance pedigree here with Speightstown. But I have seen plenty of Speightstown babies just run wild at Oaklawn over the last few years. It seems like they just, I don't know, it's like their ancestral home and they just take to it. So if you're going to look outside of those 3, I might take a shot at Woodhouse. But right now I'm leaning more towards like a Jackie's Warrior or Essential Quality.
Who the fuck is CR Trout?
He plays
what, second base?
Field for the Angels, right?
Left field.
CR Trout, what the hell?
Number 27 on the jersey, number 1 in our hearts.
Yeah, Chase, I was actually sitting around at that race. I was waiting for you to go through it so that I could jump in with Woodhouse being the horse with the biggest Wet Tomlinsons in the field, and seems to be an improving type who made a ton of sense there, and then you land there. So, that was my horse that I kind of went, I did a 30-second handicap. I went, boy, that's a horse looks really, really interesting in that race. Assuming
it doesn't
you
stack up figures wise is the issue, but it's also, like you said, it's only got 2 career races in, so it could.
And it's also a February foal as well, so it's a horse that's a little on the young side and is still sort of, if you actually go by actual age, just turned 3, as opposed to some of these others that turned 3 a month or almost 2 months ago now.
Yeah, KP, he thinks Essential Quality would be odds on here. I kind of tend to agree with him.
I would agree with that take.
I think Essential Quality. I think don't underestimate how much money Bob Baffert will take when he ships a horse from California to Oaklawn. It's just they always seem to end up going off the favorite. That's why I think that you'll end up having kind of a split co-favoritism with it. I feel like that Jackie's Warrior is the more obvious choice there, just from a little bit from a pace standpoint. I have to look at the pedigree, but I think Jackie's Warrior shouldn't really have any issue handling the mud. Gets Joel Rosario in. It's just I feel like something just kind of wonky happened in the BC Juvenile, and this horse is going to run back. But yeah, I would be willing to place a gentleman's bet that you see Essential Quality Spielberg like 1-1A, if not just very barely separated.
I would take that gentleman's bet and say Spielberg will be a longer price than Essential Quality and Jackie's Warrior.
You think so?
I do. I think, Essential Quality, maybe even money, 6-5. Jackie's Warrior, 2-1. Spielberg, maybe 5-2, 3-1. No one else will be single digits.
Can we play my favorite game here? At what odds do you bet Spielberg?
I mean, I don't, but you can, spend your money however you see fit. Go buy my racehorse shares.
What do you think fair odds on Spielberg is? Like, seriously, like I have no fucking clue what this horse is, to be honest with you.
For me, that horse would have to be probably like 8-1, 10-1 range.
You think so?
I mean, he's your third likeliest winner in my opinion. So, like, I guess he probably slides into that, 6-1 range, 8-1 range. But I mean,
I think the 5-1, 6-1 range, especially in a field this short, is what I would have to take. I have a question with Spielberg, and that's with the RB Lewis. I mean, it was run over good dirt, but it wasn't necessarily wet, and that was hands down the horse's worst performance. But you also have the note that it was bumped pretty bad at the start. So I'm wondering, A, can you blame it on the bump? B, does it not like the wet, or did it get beat to the spot on the lead and had because of the bump, and then had to deal with like kickback in the face, and the horse doesn't like the kickback? Because if the horse doesn't like the kickback, and doesn't like the wet, then it's almost an automatic toss. If it had a bad start because of the bump, it might actually end up being usable, though we all know I'm not going to bet it because fuck Bob Baffert.
It's the kind of horse in a horizontal that I would probably tend to toss. I think the horse will be over bet for its chances of winning. There'll probably be no value betting the horse. It's the kind of horse I would rather have pricier horses like and Woodhouse, and I wanted to say Woodchopper, sorry. And I just doesn't have the real pedigree that says handles it off track. Yeah, it's Bob Baffert, and it's Bob Baffert shipping to Oaklawn, and he always does well. And the horse likes to hit the board, but you just have to kind of make so many excuses for that horse. And it's not just that RB Lewis. You have to make an excuse in the Bob Hope. You have to make an excuse in the American Pharaoh and in the Delmar Futurity. And the horse, I just don't think is that talented.
I mean, yeah, we've been over that before, right? This is the 2021 version of Thousand Turds. This is exactly what this horse is.
Yeah, exactly.
And he'll beat fields where nobody shows up, but anytime he gets into a even relatively legit spot, he's going to get crushed. And that's what's going to happen again on Saturday, I think.
Yeah, I kind of think, my take on this race is going to be, if I'm playing anything horizontally, I'm going to take a hard look at the 1 and the 4, pick one single, and save 50% of my money. I think I'm leaning towards the 4 Jackie's Warrior on this race, but I mean, I don't know. It's more like I think you're going to get more value out of Jackie's Warrior because I think Essential Quality, like you said, is going to be even money or worse, and maybe you'll still get 8-5, 9-5 on Jackie's Warrior here. So I think from a value proposition, I'll probably stick with Jackie's Warrior. What do you guys think of the 2 horse here, Safa's Day? Any interest in this horse here?
Way too slow. And
you think way too slow?
Last out, yeah.
I wasn't a fan. Yeah.
Nope.
It also really doesn't have pedigree that says handles the off going.
It looks like a turf horse, doesn't it?
Kind of does, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked because like this reminds me of Cowan, right? Cowan's another Asmussen horse, and they just keep on fucking trying this horse on dirt, and it's a turf horse. But I mean, yeah. I didn't really know what to do with Spielberg. I think that you're not going to get 9-2, I was some of the people in the chat, like KP said, 18-1 is what he needs. David saying 10-1, and then he followed that up with just 2 words: he sucks. So I mean, like I think unless this horse goes off at like 5 or 6 to 1, and the only reason I think you'll be okay taking that price is because it's such a small field. Who's the what Tommy horse here? You were saying, Mark, the
Woodhouse.
The 6 Woodhouse.
Woodhouse, yeah, Woodhouse is your what Tommy.
And of the short price horses, the one in the 4, what are you thinking there?
They're about even.
They're about even. Okay.
I'm hoping that Jackie's Warrior gets overlooked based off that Breeders' Cup race where he kind of flopped as the chalk. If I can get like 2 to 1 on that horse, I mean, I'm still a big believer in Jackie's Warrior, not for the Kentucky Derby, but for these mile and 16th preps, especially if the track plays to speed at all. I mean, he ran too good as a 2-year-old to have me not bet him at 2 to 1 or 9 to 5 or so God help me 5 to 2 in this spot here. I'm still very interested in him. That Breeders' Cup Juvenile race was just absolutely nuclear on the front end.
Yep, it melted, exactly.
Yeah, you had dead closers run 1, 2, 3. And, I mean, he does have distance concerns for sure. But, it's not like he faded that badly. I mean, he made a middle move into a wicked pace and then only got beat 3 lengths. So I'm still super interested in Jackie's Warrior.
Elliot with a real great question in chat. How long will it take for Spielberg to be taken down for doping if he wins?
In a $1,500 fine.
Yeah. Which means Bodie won't get his bagel bites.
I did see that real quick. Looks like KP also did agree the pace was insane. The Jackie's Warrior ran sneaky big. I agree. That pace looks really, really fast. Road Warrior saying that he's got some Derby futures on Essential Quality, that Chad horse and AO. Who's AO? Oh, all other 3-year-olds. Duh. It's like, who the hell is AO?
I didn't get it either. Don't
Chad
feel bad.
Yeah, I was like, which Chad horse? I'm sure Road Warrior will say something.
Yeah, he will.
He'll chime in if he's still here. Where there was another one. Oh, I saw Massey was complaining about something that I kind of agree with. I hate when people do this. Where is it at? He's talking about the 9th race, I think. Oh, yeah. Why did they throw in a maiden special weight in the 9th race? Chase.
They hate the bettors. I mean, we've had this conversation before. CDI obviously hates the people that wager on their tracks. It's why they do crap like, hey, let's not have an early pick 3 or early daily doubles and BS that they do like that. So they hate the better. And yeah, love the track. The product's great at times, but the back end of sort of carting a race so that it's friendly to the player or taking care of your bettors and giving them, betting product that's really advantageous to them. They're not so good at it.
I mean, there are 2 maiden races on the fucking card, Mark, and they managed to spread them both out to where there's only one in each of the sequences. I mean, if you'd rather them stick it all in the early pick 5, fine.
I would.
I get that. But they spread it. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with spreading it out. And I honestly, I don't see a problem with adding these maiden races to these pick 5s. One, I think it takes a lot of skill as a handicapper to hit these maiden races. It takes knowledge of pedigree, knowledge of training patterns. There's a whole lot to it. I mean, if you want fucking cakewalks all the time for goddamn participation.
Chase got too fired up.
Chase got fired up and he fucking kicked
Josh hit him with
the cable modem out. No, he kicked the cable modem out.
Internet.
I don't mind them throwing maiden races in, to Chase's point. I don't like it when they throw in like Arkansas bred maiden claimers. And that's half the field's first time starters. Like that 9th race, there's a lot of first time starters. Like that's kind of garbage. Like I'm not a big fan of that. But in general, I don't mind maiden races as long as it's not something that the average person is going to have no idea, and it's in the middle of a sequence.
Yeah, to me I understand where Chase's line here of you have to be a good handicapper and to hit larger horizontal sequences you have to be good at all disciplines, and I respect that. It's just the situation of I look at that race and I'm like, I really have to buy this race. I would have to be. It's a 14-horse race, and I would have to be 7 or 8 deep here in a pick 5, and that to me is just. I have no opinion, so I'm buying it just to hopefully get through that leg. I hate doing that, and I just think that's not player friendly.
Yeah, I think it needs to be the first leg so that players get a chance to see where the money's going on these first time starters.
You can see wheel pass.
Yeah, and if you don't want to fuck with that race at all, you can play the pick 4. But where they put it pretty much hamstrings you into not playing the sequence at all, or having to come up with some sort of opinion or actually buy that race.
So let me get this wrong. Decide, because you have to have an opinion on the race, it's not better friendly.
It's not better friendly because there's not enough information for 90% of the betting public to make an educated opinion. You have the same racing form that everyone else has. I mean, I get it. You understand you can't see where the money's going, but I mean,
how are you playing that race? I mean, do you have an opinion in that race where you say, I love this one horse, or it's a 14 horse field? You have to be 7 or 8 deep in there, don't you? I don't see how you're not 7 or 8 deep. And if you're 7 or 8 deep, all of a sudden you don't have an opinion. You're spreading and praying. That's what you're doing, and that's not.
And you're spreading in the race that everyone else is spreading in, which is
Right.
automatically
you're
just
spreading in the race
filling
that everyone
value.
else is spreading, so you're not developing any value for yourself.
You get a 5-1, 6-1, 7-1 horse in that race. It's not playing that way horizontally,
and that's very player unfriendly. And there's a lot of people, and I mean, I'm not one of them. If I was really hyped up on that, I would probably play it anyways. But there are a lot of people who are going to look at that and go, hey, this is a race where I have no clue. I have no opinions. I'm just going to ignore this sequence and I'm going to go play some other track. And or I'm just not going to play at all. And that's not good for anything.
Yeah, and John Massey's also saying, hey, and you're going to throwing in the rain in the mud for 3-year-old maidens. So Chase, I don't know if you gave a weather update earlier. Are we going to probably be sloppy this weekend?
Oh yeah, we most definitely will be sloppy.
So if we're going to be sloppy, does that mean that we should fire up our Kamaris in race 8?
Oh yeah, I mean, Kamari looked really good last time he was here in the slot. I wouldn't hate that pick at all. It just kind of depends on, what the track will let them do. But I want to say Kamari ran on a sealed track, last time that was speed favoring, and then just kind of absolutely ran circles around this field. And not only that, did it with Channing Hill aboard. Like, when's
Channing Hill?
Didn't he break his shoulder blade or something during the summer? Because he always tends to run with Wayne Catalano, because that's his father-in-law.
Yeah, I think got injured on the set of Magic Mike, and he wasn't the same after that.
Yeah, I think Kamari's by Munning, so Kamari likes the slop. Amy's challenge, probably is that a use or a fade in the slop there, Mark?
Hold on, give me 1 second. What race is that? Sorry about
this. Race 8. Much to the chagrin of Mr. Stuart Guthrie, who says Kamari on dirt in race 7. I believe he's thinking of race 8, the Spring Fever.
In that race, Casual is super interesting. The 4, She's So Majestic is very interesting. The 7, and Kamari, obviously the 1-for-1 does kind of speak for itself, so is super usable. But I almost want to put a little bit of an asterisk next to Kamari's race. Obviously, I'm not going to take anything away from Kamari. That was, beat Frank's Rocket, who's a legit racehorse. So that's, definitely worth something. But I kind of put a little bit of an asterisk on a horse that's only run once, really, over dirt. Well, I guess the Keeneland.
It absolutely got the setup too. They were 21-3 to the first call with Frank's Rocket dueling on the front end.
Yeah, but looking at this race, there's quite a bit of speed up front. You got Amy's Challenge, you got Headland, you got She's So Majestic. Cash Checker Charge is going to.
It's a 5.5 furlong race. So they're always going to be filled with speed. You're going to have an issue of, is there going to be enough real estate to close into? I don't know. With the weather and everything, there are just absolutely so many question marks. I would give Kamari as good of a chance as anybody else in this race. Casual, like Mark mentioned, I would give that one a chance. I like Ain't No Elmers. Actually, I'm not really big on Amy's challenge. She looked not great in her last start in the slop.
No, she's so majestic for you.
That's another one that was on the list to consider. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I want someone who's going to stalk and get first run, or someone who's just absolutely going to come flying from the back. And that's, I mean, like Cash Checker Charge, Ain't No Elmers, Sunnydale, Best Kept Secret. I'm just naming off these EP types from Briz, but it's, my opinion is going to be formed and changed quite a bit, just with however the weather comes in.
I believe, according to Stewart, by the transitive property here, Franks beat Amy and Kamari blasted Franks, so this should be an easy choice.
Yeah, that's how that works.
And that Kamari's works are, his words, nasty.
But is Kamari really a dirt horse? I know the one.
It's so it's one extremely interesting that they keep sending Kamari, into Oakland.
I sit here and I look at this race and I'm head scratching like, why is Kamari in this race? You said Kamari and I was like, what the hell? When I first heard it, because I hadn't looked at the card at all, what the hell is Kamari doing in this race? That makes no sense, and I still don't quite understand it.
I mean, she is rather undefeated on dirt in 2 starts, and ran 2 big races. So, I mean, maybe she's better on turf. Like, I don't know. The pedigree wouldn't scream turf to me, but she clearly handles both surfaces. And I think the bigger question is, like, is this the destination? Is this a tune-up for something else down the road? There is a layoff that kind of factor in here.
The last race, I mean, the Purple Martin that Kamari was in, it seems like he likes to run Kamari on dirt before he ships to Ascot. I guess, like, that's my best guess as to why. I don't know. I really don't know.
So you're thinking they're going to the Queen Anne again?
Well, I mean, it's the difference between I mean, if this is a prep, it's a prep that's like 2 months earlier than like
they were in the Commonwealth last year, but they'll probably point Queen Anne this year is what you're kind of implying.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that I feel like there might be another race in between then, because you're running in February in this one, in the Spring Fever, and then you have till June for the for Ascot, for Royal Ascot. So there's got to be maybe something at Keeneland, something somewhere else, another turf race, and then they send to Ascot. That's the only thing I can think.
Yeah, I mean, they went straight last year from the Purple Martin right to the Commonwealth.
Yeah, but what I'm saying was the Purple Martin was in April as opposed to being in February.
Oh, okay. I got what you're saying. So you're saying that there's going to be a second race, and okay.
Yeah, maybe something 2 months down the line whenever Keeneland opens up or something like that.
That would make sense. Yeah, no Keeneland last year. Okay, I got where you're going now. Yeah,
I'm just saying though, like if it's gonna be muddy, I mean, Munnings in the mud. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, I know. I think that Kamari makes a lot of sense. I think there's enough speed here. You got Rosario aboard, which in these. I mean, turf sprints for sure, but even in just like regular sprints, put him on an S type horse in a sprint and see what happens. But it looks like we're loading into the gate here. Elliot saying that this 10 is being bet pretty heavy.
I like this 10. That was my best pick in this race. I don't see pick 6 well pays anywhere, but the pick 5 is it's pretty nice.
Very, very, very nice.
I'm assuming the pick 6s are going to be pretty substantial.
I'm a 1, 9, 10 exacta here, and then I'm a 1, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10 trifecta.
Yep, I cashed double to the 1 or the 6 here. So,
and then at 2 to 1, the price held, I'd say 2 to go ahead and drop just a flat win bet on 1.
Yep, I'm 2x to the 1, 1x to the 6 here in the double. I think my payouts are about the same. Yeah, it looks like almost identical. So,
yeah, single to the one for the daily double, which $23, that's not a bad, considering it was like a $3 play. Not too bad at all. If I can get this one over the 9, that would be fantastic.
I wonder if this pick 6 is going to carry.
If you get a bomb here, maybe, but I think Logicals will probably be, a couple tickets would have it. But I don't know, because they don't get very big pools for the pick 6.
Yeah, the 4 and the 9 are both paying 4 out of 5.
And the pick 5?
Yeah.
You did start the pick 6 off with a 3 or 2, but it is a 50-cent wager. It's not a 20-cent wager, so.
Caleb, there's only about $16,000 in the pick 6 pool, so you might get a carry.
Yeah, it probably will. I might hit 5 out of 6 actually. They pay 5 out of 6, right?
Yeah, why? I'm really curious why there's no payouts if this is a non-jackpot.
Is it a jackpot?
It's non-jackpot.
Even if it's a jackpot, it makes no sense why they don't post payouts.
No, that always frustrates me.
I know, it's
because it's
freaking Gulfstream.
Because I'm always dead going to the last leg, anyways. I just want to be tilted to know how much I would have won.
I want to know how much my horse was worth. Like, not when the favorite wins, so I didn't have. Like, I want to know how much I could have won but didn't. This 8 is being a dick in the post parade here.
Right, Chase has got a couple bets here. We got Chase's bets up. 1 over 9-10 exacta, 1 8-9-10 over 8-9-10 trifecta.
Did the 8 just pop the gate?
I played a chase trifecta where I keep the 10 on top of an all in second, and then the 1, 6, 8 in third. He always kind of pulls that Allberger in the second leg instead of third, so because that's where the bullshit happens. So we'll see if it works.
That's supers. Crazy shit happens in third place, so I just slap an Allberger in third.
I'm trying to adopt it for the try. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yep, they're scratching the 8.
Oh, that's annoying.
Who's 5-2? Yeah, that sucks. I'm sure that's gonna fucking kill my double payouts.
1's gonna probably take the worst of it.
Yeah, dude, this sucked. So this happened at Los Al last Saturday. I think I was talking to Caleb. I think we were playing Siege at the time, and the favorite, like, there was a huge rail bias, and the fucking favorite scratched, and the favorite was outside.
By the way, I'm audibling my trifecta play. Instead of the 8, I'm putting in this bomb 4, I think.
Oh, let me fix that for you, Chase, and I'll toss it up.
I kind of like this 2, who's the horse for course here. Don't know if the horse is good enough, but
how is there a horse for course here? How is there a horse for course in a $7,500 maiden race?
Hold on, I'm looking at the wrong race. My bad. Ignore me for a second.
The whiskey's hitting the whistle pig.
Not to be confused with Chase.
Fucking A, guys, come on.
Yep, 8 scratching here. So they're gonna have to reload. All right, so we'll probably sign off after this race. So Chase, you're focusing on Oklahoma this weekend. I know you're in the Wolf. You gonna be live on ABR tomorrow?
Yeah, I believe we talked about maybe changing times, but I think still 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock Eastern?
3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central, run for about an hour and a half.
All right, so we got to check out Chase on ABR tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. Bet Mitch, get rich. I don't know why I still have that up here. Caleb and I kind of talked a little bit about our weekend plans, I think, on the podcast. I think we're both going to be pretty focused on Gulfstream. I don't know if this is going to be the weekend. We keep on talking about doing a weekend live stream on Saturday. I don't know if this is going to be the weekend, but we'll try and give a little bit of notice before we do that. Similar to what we're kind of doing now, betting some races and just bullshitting here. Mark, I know you said you're going to be pretty heavy tournament-wise, mostly through Gulfstream?
Probably mostly through Gulfstream. See what the feature on horse tourneys comes up, but probably trying to qualify for big ones still.
All right, they're still waiting here, loading. Yeah, I still got a little bit of money left in my horse tourneys account. I I might talk to Shu, see if well, I meant to talk to him earlier this week about getting a full card Gulfstream up, like a $24 one or something for Discord. Because my
fun.
that'd be fun.
my account's looking a little low, and if anything, I think I'm on like a 2 or 3 game streak of taking your guys' money. I know the winner take all didn't go my way, but
2 or 3 streak. You won one of them, Josh. One.
I won 2. I think pretty sure my flare says two-time champion. What's my flare say? It just says reigning Discord turning champion. My flare's been yellow for quite a long time. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we don't have any mods that schedule Discord tournaments anymore.
Joe Marcello saying make it happen. So maybe
Joey,
let me talk with Shu, or let me talk with Sheldon and see if we can get something going for this weekend. If
I feel like $24. $24 is a good
like a
amount.
$24 winner take all for Gulfstream full card. Is that what people are thinking?
I mean, it can be winner take all, but if we have like 20 people that want in, then maybe make it a pool style or multiple tournaments or something.
That makes a lot of sense. Let me see if we get something spun up for this weekend.
Joe with a cell phone. I'm the Tacitus of these things.
You are the Tacitus?
Yeah,
wow.
That's what Joe said. Yeah,
that's some heavy shade.
Yeah, I don't know why he's throwing shade on himself. All right,
that might be the meanest thing that anyone has ever said to anyone, ever. You're a real thunder snow, Josh.
Ooh, that's even worse. Ouch.
Icky toes.
Yeah, icky toes. My feet hurt. Oh, dude, look, what is this starter doing? David's bringing up a good point. Tacitus in a grade 1 or a grade 3? It's a very good point here.
10 just took a ton of light money.
Look at this guy boot scooting and boogieing out of the way.
Boot scooting and boogieing.
He's in the premier Brooks and Dunn tribute band in the Houston area.
Like, what the hell? He has like a little rope that connects to the fucking gate. What, are they opening it manually? Damn, 10 broke and cleared.
Dude, 10 was fucking like a rocket.
10 was out there, man.
I like this stalking trip that 1's getting.
Oh, 10
with
did.
The 4, with the long shot 4, okay. Get the 1 on top and then stop the race.
Do you see this 10 is at 3-2.
Yeah, he took all the light money.
3-2 off a 12-1 morning line. Someone knows something.
1's getting a perfect trip here. This 4's kind of being a jerk to the 10.
I'm looking at this. Yeah, and like the 8 wasn't really speed, so I'm kind of surprised this 10 is so loose, but
yeah. I mean, I played him kind of off a bad trip last out, but I don't know what everyone else played him off of. I didn't think I'd get 12-1, but I didn't think I'd get 3-2 either.
Yeah, he was like 9-2 last I saw. Oh, this one.
This feels too fast for the 10. I think he's going to get caught here. But I don't think anybody except for the 1 or 10 could possibly win from here.
I mean, this 1 is just
1's gone.
Blowing on by this 10.
Not even asked.
No. Unless this 10 somehow has got.
Unless the rail got golden for the very last race, I'm pretty dubious.
Yeah. Has this 10 got a jetpack in his ass? No. This 1 is going to win for fun.
It's one of those races that just looks like a horrible race that's wide open, and it just chalks out literally 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I think that should be a nice another like $92. $92 cash
for you, Josh.
Yep, that's the daily double and the win bet for me.
And a boy.
I got slow motion nosed out of the exacta by the 2. The slowest nosing ever.
Yeah, hard to see the 4 showing that kind of speed.
Yeah, that 10. I mean, that 10 shot like a rocket, and I mean, look at that gallop out in that 10. What the fuck? That 10 still looks like he wants to run, but I don't know. What was that? It was a mile, so I don't think you're going to get much further than that. But Yeah. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us for a little bit longer of a show than we normally do. We went an extra like 50 minutes here, but I feel like we covered a lot of ground. We played a little Sam Houston here. I thought we had a little fun playing there. Cashed a couple doubles. Big winner tonight is where is he, Mr. Nick C. Nick C cashing that huge ass double earlier today. I cashed 2 smaller ones. Chase with a couple. Would you hit 1 or 2 doubles here, Chase?
A double and then a win bet.
Yeah, so cash a little money. I'm set up for the weekend, so that's gonna be nice. But yeah, you guys got any other closing thoughts here? No? Make sure, like I said, you guys check out Chase. Give him some shit. He's the funny one. Remember, he's the funny one, and Blackjack is supposed to be the straight man. Make sure you let Blackjack know that he needs to play the straight man better for Chase, because Chase is the funny one. But for everyone else, for Chase, for Kayla, for Mark, I am Josh. We are On the Wrong Lead. Check us out at ontherwronglead.com. You can buy t-shirts, mugs. Caleb, why don't you show them that new t-shirt there?
Yeah, check it out. It's got the new On the Wrong League swag. It takes a little while to ship, but it's worth the wait.
Yep, Mr. Massey is still awaiting his victory swag from last week. I know I sent him out a t-shirt and a mug, and then we'll let you guys know if we got any more live streams. We're gonna keep this Thursday night slot going forward, and then we'll go from there. But thank you guys. We'll see you guys later.